NXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Wednesday, June 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 89. In hour one of Off the Bench, Jake and T-Bob talk about the super regional matchups, including LSU and Kentucky. Hour one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, everyone? Hope you are having an excellent day. It's Wednesday, guys. June 7th, 2023. The roll is weeking right along, but I meant to say the week is rolling right along as Saturday is now one day closer. Why is Saturday so important? Because Saturday is going to be Paul Skeens Day, not Friday. Saturday will be when LSU hosts a super regional in the box for the first time in nearly half a decade. Saturday will be the time where all of your LSU baseball dreams begin to come true or begin to be crushed. Either way, it's all I can think about. Very excited. Even right now, Jake, theadvocate.com has a countdown clock going until that 2 p.m. pitch time when you're going to watch Paul Skeens take the mound once again. And we got a lot to get to on today's show. It'll be some baseball. We got some football news, Jake, as the new blue chip ratios are out. You know me, I'm a fan of looking at the talent of college football teams and basically using that as a framework for who we should be crapping on and who we should be celebrating. And the list informs us in a lot of different, interesting ways. So we'll break that down. No flustering today. Matt is out, but it's okay because I think we're going to honor him. I've got some kind of flustering-esque stories in there, I would say. So it's going to be a good show. YouTube.com/1045ESPN. Hit the like button if you're watching there. Jake, what's up, man? How we feeling this morning?
I'm actually feeling good. I got a pep in my step. I was driving to work this morning, and it's summertime, not a lot of people on the road, and you stay up maybe a little bit later, and you're like, feeling sorry for yourself just a little bit. And it's all about perspective because I'm sitting there, I'm driving, I'm almost to downtown, and I'm at a red light. I'm listening to some good music, got some good vibes going. Yeah. I look across next to me, and there's a guy in a car in a full suit with a miserable look on his face. And I'm like, you know what? I get to go to work in a hoodie, a ball cap, and Crocs and talk sports.
True.
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
But it's always... Yes, it's easy to fall into woe is me, my life is hard. And I get that because, right, everybody's life has things where it's like, people just don't understand on the outside looking in. Everybody has challenges no matter how rosy things look from the outside looking in. But, the flip side is it could always be worse.
Yeah,
right?
I had a suit and tie on, poor guy.
Yeah, it could always be worse. Well, suit guy, I hope you're spending your morning with us. Maybe we'll have some.
I don't think he had anything on the radio.
Just a silent. I did a silent drive this morning.
I do silent a lot.
I almost never
do silent a lot, but not today.
I've been struggling to listen to things lately, books, podcasts. I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't been able to focus as much lately. Even though I did start a new Oppenheimer bio, going to get a little prep for the Nolan film.
You get your mind right.
Yeah, get my mind lubed up and ready. I want to say 3-hour runtime on that bad boy. Confirmed for Oppie.
3?
3 hour, which I'm down for.
Yeah,
dude.
Me too. If I'm going to be in there with a Christopher Nolan, I want to be in there.
Exactly, right? Wasn't Dark Knight around 2.5, maybe pushing 3? And I remember not wanting that movie to end. So we'll see. Then again, there was also Tenet, which I feel like was kind of good, but I have no idea what actually happened.
I still haven't seen that.
I would love to get your take on it.
I was trying to come in here, and Danny loves all Christopher Nolan, so he was going to give it a thumbs up.
True.
You were kind of on it, so.
Whatever. We don't need to talk about that because right now LSU's got a super regional coming up. We got the weekend schedule, as I said, 2 p.m. in the box, Paul Skeens. And, also big news, we're going to do a whiskey and wine this Saturday. So if you want to come hang out, get drunk, watch the game, and then check it out after the game, we'll be at Don Juan Cigar Bar. LSU baseball right now, Jake, plus 500 to win the College World Series. You taking that bet? I feel like that's not a bad flyer there.
No, it's not. I mean, plus 500 when you're talking about still this many games to play and to win a championship, like it's not a crazy high number, but still you got some value because, I was catching up with someone from D1 baseball yesterday on off campus, and I said, okay, who's the best pitcher and who's the best position player left in the field? Because I knew what the answer was going to be.
Yeah.
And Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz. And I'm like, okay, so that gives LSU an opportunity, even though they might not have some of the depth in the rotation, in the bullpen, say a Wake Forest. When you have the best pitcher and when you have the best position player, and almost you could go across the board, and I'm not sure that you would get another name. Yeah. That's going to always give you an opportunity.
And I mean, remember that best position player, Paul Skeens never went through any sort of downstreak, right? So he stayed as hot as he is. But that best position player refound his form. Do not forget, Dylan Cruz named the most outstanding player of the regional last week and going 8 of 13 over the weekend. A couple of home runs. And it's not just stat padding, though, because it was the timeliness of the hits as well. The 2-run home run when you were down 3-0 and you desperately needed something to get you some juice going. Who was there? Your best player. Dylan Cruz was there. And you know what's odd, Jake, is that I know that the bullpen is still like it's not something where you're going to have a ton of confidence going into it, right? Like you still feel in the back of your mind that you see a couple walks and then it's just all going to come shattering apart like you've seen a few times this year. That said, the form's been pretty good lately, and it's been getting better and better. And it just comes down to who are we actually thinking of bringing out the pen, and that's become pretty obvious, right? It's definitely Hurd, it's definitely Ackenhausen, probably as your 1 and your 2, maybe Riley Cooper there at 2 as well. It looks like they like Gavin Guidry as the closer.
Yeah.
And after what he did last week, and I will honor that. I mean, you want to talk about the big balls on a freshman. He's already had a bunch of high leverage moments, but to be put into that regional situation with not just, the weight of trying to make supers weighing down him in that 6-5 save opportunity, Jake, but the weight of, hey, Guidry, if you screw this up, all your boys have to come back for a game 30 minutes later, and you're going to be here for 12 hours total. Like, it was just.
And then you got to beat Oregon State twice.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a as pressure-filled of a situation as you can get. Guidry handled the flying colors. So the point of all this is Hurd, Ack, Cooper, Guidry, Griffin Herron throwing well. You actually have enough. Skeens Floyd. Jay Johnson said he was saving Javen Coleman for a potential another game if you had lost to Oregon State. So maybe he's your day 3 starter if you need it. But yeah, there seems to be, and I'm not including guys like Collins and Dutton and Money and Little, because I don't, I kind of think, like you always talk about, Jake, the postseason roster's been retracted. But yeah, so I guess it's all just a roundabout way of saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that LSU has the best bullpen, but I do think the pen's form is better than maybe what we think, maybe how you feel about it, or maybe how some of the national heads are going to talk about it. Because the only way that you really know, like, who the guys are and the form they're in is if you've really been watching this team and this team alone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Every time we watch LSU, they throw up here's what everybody else outside of Paul Skeens has done for LSU, and this is starters and bullpen, right? Well, if you do a deep dive into it, if you watch LSU as closely as we do, as our listeners do, like, that's a different story now than it was 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, hell, probably even 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It does feel different. And the thing to remember is they don't have to be perfect. And I think you're starting to see that mentality.
Yes.
Right? Because before they were trying to be perfect, walking a ton of guys, not being competitive in the strike zone. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we have the nation's best offense, right? Mm-hmm. Let's trust our stuff. Yep. Let's pitch to contact. Let's, if we go 5 innings and we give up 3 runs, our offense is going to pick us up.
Yep.
And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a pitching staff that's not trying to be perfect, because that's when you get in trouble. And now they're going out there being competitive every time. There's no, hey, let's walk 5 guys before we get 1 out, right? No. There's none of those situations anymore.
Yeah, I certainly hope that we never see anything like that again. That was absolutely miserable. We saw it a couple times this year. But no, Jake, you're exactly right. I mean, look at the regional final, right? Each pitcher does their job, but each pitcher also gives up a couple runs apiece. Right. And
I mean, even Thatcher striking out 12 guys still gave up.
Exactly, right. But again, like Jake said, the offense is there to do their job. It is a team game, no matter how many individual moments have to take place for the team to be successful. At the end of the day, each side of the ball has to pick their side up when the other side just doesn't have it that day. So I feel I'm feeling really good about LSU. I will say this though, in terms of pitching to contact. You really want to lean into it this weekend, right? We all know that the word of Kentucky, they're a small ball team. You know you don't want to do to a small ball team? Give them free base runners, right? Make them earn it by swinging the bat. Do not walk and let them bunt and advance and put guys on the second and third. Like make Kentucky earn it, because their bats are just not as powerful as, not even close to what you saw out of Oregon State this last week. Not that their offense isn't good, but their bats are not as powerful. So you don't have to have the fear that you've had sometimes this year.
I'm going to be very kind of curious to see exactly how things are going to line up. If it gets to a situation, like you had, say Ty Floyd goes out there and he's got good stuff, maybe he doesn't have the best stuff, and he gets knocked out in the, let's say, 5th inning, close game. Thatcher Hurd come in immediately right there, and you try to finish the game.
I would.
Right? I don't think he's in a situation, after what we saw after the rain delay, I don't think he's like the Game 3 starter. I think Jay likes what he sees from Thatcher Hurd coming into the game, and that's kind of been when he's been shining the brightest. So I expect to see him in Game 2. Now, if you don't see him, if Ty Floyd handles his business, maybe he gets deep into the game, and depending on what the score is, you use other pitchers. Like, what do you do with Thatcher Hurd if there is a Game 3?
I think, well, I mean, look, if you get a Game 3 and Thatcher Hurd hasn't thrown yet, I think you start him, right? I mean, it's what and even last week with the rain delay, it is kind of interesting, because hearing from Jay Johnson and Thatcher Hurd in press conferences, that's basically what Hurd did. Like it was, because of the extended 3-hour rain delay, it became almost like a pseudo starting situation. Like he knew exactly, he prepared as if he was going to start a game. So yeah, that's what I would do if you haven't seen it. But again, in those first 2 games, unless you just have 2 unexpected blowouts one way or the other, right, like I feel like you will almost assuredly see him. My question is, like, let's say Skeens gives you 7 and it's a close one, but you got the lead. Are you going Hurd in the 8th? Do you go Guidry? Because they look like they really like him in that closing role. Like, that's what I'm a little more, that's what I don't know the answer to, because it feels like you also don't want to spend Hurd on just 2 innings, because he's been so extended. I mean, what's he gone 5 his last 2 or 3 outings?
Yeah.
Definitely
sure,
last 2. I don't know about 3.
It's been last 3.
Okay, so there you go. So I feel like you maybe want him in a bit more of an extended role. Him and Ty Floyd feel like that Game 2 combination, because Floyd not going as long and Hurd going longer than your traditional guy out of the pen. But we'll see. I just love how good we feel about Thatcher Hurd now, because it's a testament to mental toughness. And it's not even that Hurd was bad all year, because Hurd was actually really good in the beginning of the year. As we said, everything that we kept hearing was like, or kept seeing it was like highest strikeout total since March, highest assist since March. You think about the Texas start, and look how good Texas is, still in this tournament, looking to make supers, hosting actually this weekend, I believe. So
they're traveling to Stanford.
Okay, they're traveling to Stanford.
Yeah, they still won the Coral Gables, though.
Either way, though, the point is that we've seen Hurd do good, and then to lose it in the way that he did so mightily, to the point where we had said he's just not having it. He just doesn't have it. And then to regain it, that speaks to mental toughness, perseverance, somebody who's trending in the right direction. And I trust Thatcher Hurd going into this weekend, which is something that would have been unfathomable like 2 months ago. So a huge credit to Thatcher Hurd.
Yeah, during the regular season in game number 1 against Kentucky, Paul Skeens gives you 6 innings, gives up 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, struck out 13. Then Riley Cooper came in and pitched 2 innings, only gave up 1 earned run. Remember, that was a shortened game because LSU had a run rule in that first contest. And so it's a team that's going to, frustrate pitchers. The small ball aspect of it is not something that you see. And I know we talked about it every time we talk about Kentucky because it is kind of a unicorn in college baseball,
especially
to
in the
play
SEC.
that way. Exactly. I mean, you really don't even see it anywhere. We keep calling it a West Coast baseball style because that's what we saw all those Southern California teams do for so long, and they still do some of that. I think Kentucky does it more than anybody in the country, at least teams that I have watched and teams that are competitive and towards the top, of the standings. And it's just a different brand of baseball. So you have to be ready. You have to maybe change up a couple of things. They're going to test Tommy White over at third base. They're going to test Hayden Travinski behind the dish. And, that's something else she's obviously ready for, but it is going to be something that's different and they haven't seen since they played Kentucky. Oregon State did a version of it. Oregon State certainly did, but Oregon State had way more power than Kentucky.
Especially at the top of that lineup. That freshman that they have was a beast. But what about this? You know baseball better than I do. With the pitcher like Skeens, what is the style that he is more vulnerable to? Because
I think the long ball because of how hard he throws. I think so too,
right? Exactly, because that seems like the only time he gets caught up this year is just like every now and then somebody connects with the ball, and because of how hard he throws, if you connect, you hit a home run.
I agree. I think that is something. And again, it's not a situation where he's going to give up 4 in one game. But anytime he gives up runs, it feels like it comes from the long ball on a fastball that's like 99 and the guy connects with it. So I'm not thinking that this is going to give him trouble. I just know you have to be ready at the other positions, right? I love having Trey Morgan back at first base in a game like this.
He made some plays.
Incredible plays. I know his bat maybe isn't what it has been, although it does feel like he's taken a deep breath and gotten a couple of hits, and maybe that can help him out and kind of get back to the hitter that we know. But having him at first base, knowing they're going to try to play small, knowing that Tommy White and you're going to be charging in on some of these bunts and different things, and the throw's not going to be perfect, well, you got a guy that can catch it 99% of the time.
I actually love Tommy White charging in. I feel like
he's coming in with bad intentions,
and he's pretty good at getting that ball up to his hand, transfer and getting it over to first. So he's gonna be relied on this week to do it.
So we had Hayden Travinski on yesterday, and we asked him about Kentucky running and is he gonna be ready for it? And he had the perfect strike him out, throw him out moment against Oregon State.
Sure.
Do you think? I can't imagine any situation that Beloso and Travinski aren't in the lineup, DH and catcher. I know people were asking me yesterday, is Milazzo going to be behind the dish because of the way Kentucky plays? I can't imagine that. Not with how hot those bats are. Travinski is somebody that's, he realizes he's got to step up in this series. I think he said that was the first time he caught Paul Skeens.
Yeah,
so Milazzo had been
really got to be nerve-wracking.
Milazzo was basically Eddie Perez to Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
I mean, he was his personal catcher.
It's something I never appreciated growing up. Is why does a pitcher need a personal catcher? And now you get it. They're calling the game. It's like a tag team. There's a real rapport there. So underrated. How nerve-wracking it must have been for, hey, Travinski, go catch this guy who throws 100, has breakout sliders, and don't screw it up because it's regional weekend. just go do. Now, that said, there were a sneaky amount of pass balls with the lefties on Sunday. And so I kind of feel that, or was it Monday? I don't know. No, it was a Monday. Yeah, right? I can't remember. I kind of feel that if you did have a lead late, I maybe could see a defensive replacement situation.
I hear that, and I'm sure that the guys that beat the drum for him being behind the dish, I understand it, and he's had a good year. But if you do that, and somehow we saw it twice at the end of the regular season, somehow twice that spot comes back up in the lineup.
That did happen, yeah.
It happened twice at the end of the year.
True.
One, I think, was bases loaded.
True.
Okay? You have a guy that's batting .430, hits a home run every 8 at-bats. I believe he has 16 strikeouts to 14 walks. So he's seeing it incredibly well right now.
Jeez.
That's what you take a risk. And obviously, every move that you make in baseball is a risk, but that's a big one. And so, you're not going to take Trey Morgan from first now. You're not taking Pearson out the lineup in left field. So you can do it. It is an option. Like if Travinski gets up and he's, the last out, okay.
Yeah,
you got a lead.
Okay,
that's when you can push that button. But it did happen to you twice in the regular season where that spot came up and Milazzo wasn't able to come through.
Bobby Hotep says, why do QB like certain centers? T-Bob, well, so a catcher pitcher is different though. Like a quarterback can play with a different center. Like a quarterback can play with any center. Like I guess what we're talking about, like in the Eddie Perez scenario, Eddie Perez is only playing because of how Greg Maddux works with him. Like there's no such relationship between centers and quarterbacks. Right. The relationship is close, but if you're the starting center, you're the starting center because you can play, not because the quarterback just works well with you, which in baseball it obviously is a bit different. I don't know that there's a great analogy for like other sports trying to find a similar relationship. But that's baseball. It has a bunch of weird quirks. I mean, it's such an oddly designed game to begin with.
I mean, Champ brings up a point, like take a look at maybe compare the two defenses, and that's something that I was doing right before the show. It's not and we're talking about behind the dish, it's not the crazy drastic numbers that you probably think between the two catchers.
Oh, between Milazzo and Travinsky?
Yeah, I think I have it in the office. I think I left it in there.
I feel like nobody's really tried to run on LSU that much anyway this
year.
Fair. Like nobody's running really in baseball that much, I feel like, anymore.
Yeah, if one team does, it's going to be Kentucky.
Yeah, true.
I believe they led the country in attempts.
All right, so we have gone very long. So let's go to break.
Look at us getting ahead of the chains.
I know, maybe a little too ahead.
No.
Big play.
First down.
Chunk play, something that you're looking for more out of LSU's offense next year. And I do, look, we're going to heavy college baseball tomorrow. We'll have Jay Johnson. We'll really dive into Kentucky. We'll have hopefully Ben McDonald on Friday. So, maybe even check in with Lynn again. That'd be super fun. So I kind of want to shift here. And next segment, I want to talk college football. I want to talk about these new blue chip ratio charts that were released and what they mean. So let's keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Get Gordon and get it done. That's right, baby. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You see, change. Look, if you're in the car, look out your window. Huh? See that guy? Maybe he's a giant avocado. Well, that's because l'avocat, the French word, same word for avocado, is the same word for lawyer. So he can satiate your hunger for justice. But look, the point is, Gordon McKernan, though, it's not just fighting for you in the courtroom. He's fighting out there in the community, whether it's raising money for Turner syndrome, whether it's bringing the premier athletes of the G team to help out with the Miracle League. They always got stuff going on over there. By the way, Harold Perkins, Jake, re-signed with the G team. So get Gordon and get it done today.
Yeah, that's good news. That is great news, and he continues to do so much in the NIL space, but also he can do so much for you. Go to getgordon.com. A live agent is waiting on you today on the website. Have that conversation with them, but pick up the phone as well. Any area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Get 3.99% financing at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas on select 2023 models. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
Join me, Jimmy Ott, and the Handyman. We're live at lunch at Modesto, the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch at Modesto on Burbank, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Ain't no love in the heart of town. Ain't no love and it's shown up for pity.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Hit the like button, guys. Couple things real quick here. Jake, I can't remember. Did you have those numbers written down? Do we know yet? We can revisit. Not a big deal if not.
I was actually doing push-ups and flutter kicks during the break, and I should have gone into the office.
Look, we are back in. I feel like we've been pretty good. After giving ourselves essentially the weekend off, we have had quite the we've been good about getting back to push. All right, I want to dive into blue chip ratio real quick. If you don't know what blue chip ratio is, remember Bud Elliott, 247 Sports, Florida State guy. We'll talk to him closer to the Florida State LSU game.
Did we have him on the media days?
Yeah, we had him on media days last year. It's where we got to know him. But he has it's for over 15 years now. 247 has put out blue chip ratios. A blue chip prospect is a 4 or a 5-star. The blue chip ratio is the percentage of your roster that is made up of 4 and 5 stars. You know how I feel about recruiting. I don't give a damn about individual recruits, right? That 5-star you love so much could end up sucking. The 3-star that you are mad got in the class because he's bringing you down could end up being the player that you love the most. Like on the micro,
could be.
On the micro, I don't care about recruiting. But in aggregate, the macro, like when you zoom out, class rankings do matter, right? And these things are good indicators of which teams should be really good. And so maybe the main thing that blue chip ratio shows, at least this is kind of the foundation of it all, Jake, is that no team has ever won a national championship without being over the 50% threshold. And so when you look at college football, there are now 16 teams this year that are actually capable of winning a championship. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm going to continue to use that line. If you are not on this list, you're capable. You can make it, right? Look at TCU last year.
I was about to say, you can get
close. Get damn close, but nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever done it. You got a couple playoff teams every now and then that get in there. TCU winning the playoffs went the furthest, but the lowest ever totals to win, Jameis Winston in 2013. I want to say Florida State had like a 52%. And then Deshaun Watson and Clemson in 2016, where they had like a 53%. So who then, and Taylor, if you want to go look at Bud Elliott's Twitter or in the document here, I have the picture. I'm sorry.
What do they consider blue chip?
4 or 5-star by the rating system. That's all it is. But you don't get hung up in specifics here. This is all napkin math, painted with broad strokes. Like, I don't care that LSU 71% and Texas is 70, right? Like that means nothing to me. All I care about is this. Are you over 50%, and are you achieving what you should be achieving? Like, who are the 3 teams that every single year, Jake, we basically just get put in the top 5 we expect to make the playoffs?
Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia.
Okay. And who's at the top of this list and really in their own category almost every single year?
Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia.
Yes. So if you look at the 2023 charts right now, Alabama, 90%. Sorry, that's the is that okay. Is that the
That's the one you had in the document. You had 2.
So this is actually,
this is
okay, go to the other
2022.
one. This is the 2022 post-transfer list right there, Taylor.
Which
Good
is,
job, though.
the post-transfer is as important.
Well, and the new chart will be updated soon with transfers. So this is as the rosters as they stand today, and then before the season, they will update it again. But Alabama at 90% leads the country. That immediately kind of jumps off the page here, Big Jake, because I feel like I'm not that scared of Alabama this year, right? I mean, because contextually, we know they're replacing all their coaches. They got rid of their Heisman-winning quarterback. Like they have and they don't seem to have a great answer. I mean, they've taken Tyler Buckner out of the transfer portal, and so it feels like Alabama shouldn't be that good. And yet, here they sit, and Nick is saying, "Well, I'm giving myself the best possible chance because I just have better players in terms of top to bottom than any other team in the country."
Yeah, and I get stuff like this. I understand stuff like this, and I understand that it does matter. Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia being right there at the top. Like there is a portion of this that matters a bunch. It's not to say I'll be all. There's still things, and y'all know me. Y'all know my recruiting stance. You still have to have development. You still have to have players that go out there with bad intentions every single time. And Kirby does a great job of this. He's not going to get credit for it. You see them at 77% compared to 85 and 90 for Ohio State and Alabama.
Back-to-back years, they've been at 77 too.
Kirby's not afraid to take, and Coach Saban's done this as well, but maybe not as much recently. Kirby is not afraid to take a guy that maybe wasn't that 4 or 5-star guy, and he understands how to implement that guy in offense, in defense, to be really a connector.
Yeah.
For whichever. I mean, look at Stetson and him sticking with Stetson. But now he recruited quarterbacks around him, but he has done a nice job of getting that type of guy in and just, knowing where to place that player for the chemistry, to get people like whatever it might be, because that's why you see them at 77% and not 90.
Well, so I think it's funny because we went over this a bit on Snaps yesterday, and Aaron kind of mathed out something similar where, there is something to be said for the Ladd McConkeys of the world. Like when you're making up a total roster, you need some of that underdog grit. I mean, you look at Ohio State, 85%. Why'd they get their ass kicked by Michigan, who's at 54% in this chart, 2 years in a row? Because the culture. Maybe they've gotten a bit soft. Maybe they are a bit too obsessed with, being superstars, and they lost a little bit of the gravel. Like one of the main reasons why Georgia's had success the last couple of years, Kirby Smart says it, they have guys that want to eat off the floor. I think when Alabama's had their dips in the Saban, this incredible Saban run, it's been when they've kind of lost some of that edge and a little bit of that nastiness. So, yes, I agree. Look, this is not to say you are a good team. Again, this is to tell me, are your coaches doing what they should with the pieces they have? And then you look at a school like Texas A&M, who is number 4 on this list, and I mean, how are you not just immediately angry if you're an Aggie fan? I mean, to be right behind Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia in talent, and yet go 5-7, not make a bowl game, and had you not been LSU, you would have had the worst record in the SEC. It boggles the mind. Texas and Oklahoma are 7th and 8th. They're some of the only, they're 70%, and yet not another Big 12 team is on this list, Jake, and yet they went 6-7 and 8-5 in the Big 12 last year. That's pathetic. That's coaches who are wasting that talent. And then the flip side of that are guys like Harbaugh at Michigan who are punching up.
See, this is always a tough conversation for me, and the fellows that put this together, this is great work, and it does stay true a lot of times. But like off the top of my head, I'm thinking Utah, I'm thinking Washington, I'm thinking Tennessee. Those teams can win national championships. I'm not saying they're the favorite by any means.
Well, but they've never.
Utah's won the Pac-12.
Yeah,
two times in a row. So you got Pac-12 teams littered all around.
No.
They hadn't won the conference. Utah's won the conference.
Well, only one Pac-12 team's in here, and it's the only member that. Oh yeah, you're right. Oregon's been in there. You're right.
USC's still in the Pac-12.
No, I know, but I was thinking SC because SC is the only new member of the 50% club. And it is kind of interesting because what did we say just a second ago? Who are the lowest national champions ever that have come from this? Teams that were right at the 52% that had transcendent talent at quarterback. So Caleb Williams, pressure on. No, I feel you, Jake. Like Utah and them, I think to those staffs' credit, if you put a Kyle Whittingham with a Texas roster, an Oklahoma roster, an A&M roster, they're going to be much better than they are currently. Caleb DeBoer, like whoever you want to say. The problem is, again, just we never have seen a team win a natty that's been under the 50% threshold. So until that happens,
how long have they been doing this?
About almost 20 years. That's what I'm saying. I think it's 16 years. So it's not, it's not 100. Like it's not a small sample size, but it's not like an overwhelming one. Eventually, somebody will break through. But until that moment happens, again, I feel comfortable in saying that the national champion is going to come from this list.
Well, I can say the same thing, but it's more about the top 5 or 6 teams on this list more than it is. What would you say, 16?
Well, I mean, I guess, but like look at Michigan, right? Michigan very close last year. They were right at 50%. Again, I don't think USC is going to win the Natty. I do not, but they do feel similar to the Clemson and the Florida State team that I was talking. A little surprised not to see Florida State on this list.
Yeah,
with Miami and Florida making.
I was trying to go through the conference. Like I said, I kind of stopped out west because I didn't feel like I had to get much farther. Just of teams that I truly feel like they're like I would take Utah over half this list.
Well, again, but that's but I think we're kind of fundamentally. I don't think that's.
But my whole argument is there's 3 teams right now, and Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia that this list feels like it is leaning on right now, and they're throwing the other teams in there, but it's really like it's a conversation of those 3 teams at 90 and 85, and even Georgia at 77%, because I still think there's teams that I would give a much higher chance to win a national championship than almost every team, in the 7 through 16 range.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. See, that's what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that, like, these other teams are going to win a natty. The teams that I think will win a natty on this group, like you said, the top 3, Michigan, I would say yes. Capable at least. I don't know about Clemson, man. If Garrett Riley and Kate Klubnik are good, then immediately they're back in the conversation. Maybe Oregon has some potential there. Maybe so. Like, there's probably like 5 or 6 out of LSU would probably be in that number. I mean, things could break LSU's way, and they could end up being. So there's probably 5 or 6 on here that I would take as well. Again, I'm more using this as a metric: who's overachieving, who's underachieving, and
right.
and how judgmental should we be of them, right? Like, okay, Billy Napier, Florida should be better, but it's year 1. We'll give him a little bit of a break. Brent Venables, Oklahoma should be significantly better. Year 1 last year, we'll give him a bit of a break. But like Sark, this should be it for Sark. If he can't win this year, it's indefensible, it's inexcusable. He's recruited great, but you have to develop that talent.
Yeah, to your point and what you're talking about, that is a little bit of a different conversation, and I do agree with you. Texas A&M, you're 73%. You didn't make a bowl game
Pathetic.
Last year. Texas and Oklahoma, yeah, you got to be better. Certainly, if you're Texas, Oklahoma, still, I think that standard is a standard, and you've been a coach for a long time. You're not going to get too many passes like this is it. Like year 2, you got to prove something. Florida is a team that got blown out in Las Vegas Bowl by Oregon State. Miami, what do you call Mario Cristobal?
Mario Cristofraud.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Penn State, actually, I think is going to be really good this year. But the Auburn Tigers sitting there at the back end of it, you got to prove something as well.
Is scary. Auburn is, to me, on this list. Because there's no way they should be able to attract that many players to that school. Like, there's so much drama. They've changed coaches so many times.
Yeah, but still, think about where they're located and the recruiting around them.
They're still, and it's why someone like Hugh Freeze is like, okay, actually, the potential's pretty massive there. Because they're still relevant, even though they shouldn't be at all. I don't think they're going to be anything this year, but I just mean more going forward in the Freeze era.
I'll tell you what, this list also makes you appreciate, Whittingham at Utah, Sonny Dykes at TCU,
100%.
and it makes you appreciate even Bielema, what he did at Illinois last year. Remember, if Michigan's kicker doesn't have a bionic leg, and Illinois doesn't get just a blown pass interference call, they beat Michigan last year in their own stadium.
I agree. And that's what I mainly use this for. Who are we giving credit to for overachieving, and who are we demonizing for underachieving? Also, this shows you that, LSU should be right there to win the West and playing in New Year's Six Bowls. You should be. one of the best teams in the entire country. All right, we've gone long. Let's go to break. We're going to get back. More of this OTB. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll start to look at LSU and Kentucky. Chris Demouy going to jump aboard to talk Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, welcome back. Okay, so actually, Taylor, you did have, I apologize, you had the updated 2023 chart with transfers, and the only thing that really changes in the conversation, Auburn drops under for whatever that's worth. But what's more interesting to me is if you look at the list, out of these 16 teams, everybody went down post-transfer, except Michigan, who gained 1 percentage point, which, again, we just championed Michigan's culture, didn't we? Beating a more talented Ohio State team with toughness and coaching and development and everything else. Well, in the same way, for the second year in a row, Georgia has had a 0% change after transfers. They were at 77 last year, 77 after transfer. They were at 77 this year, 77 after transfer. Again, that speaks to the culture that UGA is building. For whatever it's worth, LSU sees a pretty okay drop here, going from 71% to 66%. But, you know, look, you have Miami dropping 8, Oklahoma. Again, don't get too married to any of this. When I see all these negative numbers in terms of guys leaving, all it tells me is, yeah, when you recruit 3/4 of your roster as players who expect to be the guy, you're going to lose those guys. And so really, I'm not judging any of these teams that are losing guys as much as I am giving credit to the teams that are not. Because that speaks to a culture where you're just like somehow creating buy-in where others are struggling to do so.
The fact that Georgia just sits there and they didn't take a transfer last year. They've been very selective in who they've taken as well. Like, it's a way that nobody else is really doing as far as, like, you know, one, it's trusting your high school recruiting, but it's also setting it up where you don't have to. And Kirby's been there long enough now where he can do that.
Yeah.
He can set it up. He can create that depth. He can keep players interested and happy, not leaving there where they have to go dive into the transfer portal. And that's what Brian Kelly always talks about. Like, they want to get to a place where that's how they run LSU's program.
Yes.
Like, they don't want to have to do deep dives into the portal. And he talked about that with me in Destin. You don't want to have to, certainly on one side of the ball, bring in double-digit transfers. But that's where LSU is because of when you take this program over, what the roster looked like. And we've long talked about that. We don't have to bring that back up. But that's where they want to get to. Georgia looks like right now, I mean, the only team that kind of feels that way, that they don't have to go. Like, even Alabama, you mentioned Tyler Buckner. They got to go get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because right now they don't believe in what they've brought in right now through the high school ranks.
Yeah, it's God, I just don't know how he's doing it, man. How is Kirby accomplishing this thing that no one is able to accomplish right now? I guess it's literally what you could ask about anybody who's like great, the best in their field, right? Anybody who is doing the extra normal things that make you be viewed as the best that others are not able to do. I don't know what he's telling these kids, man, but whether it's recruiting them in or getting them to stay, it's just unreal. And then when he has to, like you said, being very selective to even out losing like a Bear Alexander. And yeah, you mentioned your talk with BK at Destin. That was probably my favorite part of it, when he was basically saying he was basically saying that sorry, I got distracted by a text that just he wants to top off the tank, right? They're still having to do a little too much creation. Eventually you want to get to the place where you're just a couple little pumps, couple of squirts in there, and a couple added.
You're like, hey, you look at your roster. We need an edge and we need a right guard.
Yeah.
All right, go get the best edge, go get the best right guard. It's not where they're at right now. They've, obviously, like, the defensive back room was something that still needed a lot of help, and so that's where they've put a lot of their time and effort, and they've done a nice job of kind of getting that to a point where you feel good about it. But that's not what they want to do. They want to have the high school guys, keep the high school guys here long enough. They don't transfer out, and then, like you mentioned, add 6, maybe it's 6 total players out of the portal.
All right, because less Miles clock management, we got too far ahead of change. We're going to go to break, and then we'll have a short time to come back. And then I want to dive into Mike Thomas, who was brack on the practice field yesterday. Keep it locked right here in OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota, okay? Toyota. You like playing with toys? Well, the Yodas are there for you. They got them all on the lot, whether you want the Sienna, okay, maybe you want a big old truck like a Tundra, maybe a little smaller one like a Tacoma, maybe you want a Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Sequoia. The point is, whether it's an SUV, a sedan, a truck, it's all there for you of an airline highway. And it's at a place that has the best employees, best sales staff to help you find exactly what you and your family needs, the best service staff to take advantage of the Toyota certified warranty that you can get with the used vehicles and just the best experience overall. So go check out the website or go see them off Airline Highway today. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Yoda. Would it be like Toyota, love you will? Is that how Yoda would talk backwards?
Oh.
I mean, you said Yoda. I thought that's what you were going for.
I feel you. I've never even considered. How have I never considered making a Yoda joke until this point?
All-Star Toyota of Baton.com.
Love your choice, you will.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville or NOLAFlooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you can run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clash and chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We'll hear from Jay Johnson as the Tigers continue to get ready for the Baton Rouge Super Regional against Kentucky. And it's a Whiskey Wednesday. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Missing in action left me in LA. With her, it's magic till she runs
All-Star
away.
Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Again, I apologize because I didn't do a good job managing the clock. So we're only have like 2 minutes here, and that's on me. Coming up next, though, to start next hour, I do want to break down Michael Thomas being back on the Saints practice field. Let's go, dude! As well as some big news about maybe what could be coming up. And then I was thinking maybe like a bit of a pseudo-flestering hour, even without flestering. There's an earthquake in the Gulf. We got the Swedish Sex Olympics that we could potentially talk about if you want. I do want to talk about Liv and PGA, as I'm watching so much Succession. And, you know, in that show, they're always talking about stuffing people's mouths full of money to basically, you know, make them do things. And, well, you saw it yesterday. And so I want to get into all this. But first, Jay, congrats to our guy Zion Williamson. You saw this yesterday? Going to be a father. Had a big gender reveal party in a big mansion. It looked like a very fun party. My God, his partner is attractive, which of course. But it looks like Zion's going to be a girl dad. How about that?
Just a dad.
First little baby going to be a cutie little girl.
You can be a girl dad. You can be a boy dad. Or just a dad.
Well, be factually girl dad.
Yeah. Just don't wear a girl dad hat.
I'm just hoping that Zion can discover the dad power, right? Because something changes in you motivationally when you become a dad. You reach a greater depth of source of energy and power. So here's to hoping Zion can start, dominating his opponents like they're his children on the court.
The good news is he already has the dad bod down.
Oh, okay. I saw you pull over the mic. I'm actually proud of you.
Wow, that's
really
pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I hate that every time we see Zion public, we have to comment on how he looks, but we do, and he actually looks really good, though. Did y'all watch the video?
I haven't seen any
I
of
watched
this.
the entire 5-minute gender reveal blog. It's just it's a video of the party. They were like doing like diaper relay races, all sort of stuff. It looked super fun. I would have loved to be there. Where's my invite sign? It's all good, dude.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
But like maybe just like next time, just invite me because I'd love to be there. Accutemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. Take control of your comfort zone. It's hot out there, okay? So you're probably rolling that AC. And if you want to make sure that you avoid any catastrophic issues down the road, you can do the Star Club membership where they check on them for you, or maybe just have them to come check on your home and get an idea of what it's like to work with Accutemp, where I think you're going to be blown away. Don't take my word for it, though. Look at the reviews. Again, storms are here, boys. I mean, It's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, random hail for like 15 minutes out of nowhere. But you want a whole home generator? $1,000 off right now, plus free whole home surge protection. Accutemp Baton Rouge.
I mean, it's amazing how like the hail was like perfect circles. I'm not sure how it does that. Maybe the weather person can call in and give us that as well. But you should go ahead and go to AccuTempBR.com. Schedule that appointment online today. Again, AccuTempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Wednesday, June 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 89. In hour two of Off the Bench, we talk a little Saints OTAs. Michael Thomas back on the practice field. Also, we'll find some makeup segments since Matt Flynn's not joining us for flustering today. Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to hour number 2 of OTB. I hope you're having a great day, everybody. I mean that. There's only a few of you that I actually don't hope are having a great day. But even you that I don't like, I really hope like your day doesn't get worse than maybe like a stub toe or like an annoying email or maybe a clogged toilet. So really relatively benevolent. Even towards my enemies. So I mean it when I say that I hope you're all having a great day. Here in hour number 2, it's probably going to get a bit weird. We're kind of honor the spirit of flustering, even if Matt isn't here. Not here in the first segment. We're going to talk Saints here in this first segment, then maybe we'll kind of get a little weird. Somebody just linked me, Jake, Magic the Gathering is making a new Lord of the Rings card set, right? Like, so Magic Gathering, you like make new card sets every season. They also do some theme stuff, blah, 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 whatever.
Okay.
Well, do you know anything about Magic? Do you know how expensive it can get?
I have zero idea.
Okay, so it gets crazy, right?
Okay.
I mean, like, it is hundreds of dollars to make a competitive deck. Like,
Okay.
it's a very expensive thing to be into. Collecting's crazy. Like, you can literally make, I mean, it's a full-time gig. But remember that cat that retired from the NFL because he's making more money flipping Pokemon cards and whatnot? You can do the same thing You can do the same thing in Magic, right? So there's always been expensive cards. In fact, there's even rumors that, like, I've heard of this card, like the Black Lotus, right? Which is just it's incredibly rare, yada, yada, whatever. There's rumors that, like, Post Malone bought a signed Black Lotus for, like, $800,000 recently. But apparently, in this Lord of the Rings set, they're making one card. One copy of this card called the One Ring. And what's crazy is it's a literal 1 of 1, and it is in a random booster. So you cannot just buy it from right now, at least, until it is found. You cannot just buy it, right? So and what's wild about this is that the market is saying this card could be worth $1 million.
What do we do?
$1 million, dude. You want to talk? You want to talk about the lottery? Everybody go buy. I don't know what to tell you. I need to read the whole article. Like, I just skimmed it in the last 30 seconds before he came back on. But go buy yourself a little Lord of the Rings booster, and maybe you can experience what Charlie did when he opened up that golden ticket, right? Or Charlie's grandpa, who was a lying fraud, whose legs were never actually hurt. What a bum. But the point is, somewhere
That
out
feels
there,
deep-rooted.
Well, I mean, come on, dude. What's he doing? I know it's like an old internet joke at this point, so I get it. But seriously, what is Charlie's grandpa doing? Just crapping in the bed, laying down, doing nothing, being smelly and old, not helping to contribute to the household that desperately needs some sort of wage earning potential. And then the second his grandson wins the lottery, he's dancing and singing. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to all the nerds out there. And shout out to you if you have bought a
I mean,
a collector, a Lord of the Rings collector booster. Yeah. It's a one of one, though.
Okay.
One of one. Think about that.
Can we create a one of one?
I mean, you could, but yeah, it's like, can you get people to care about it, right? I could draw something here that would be one of one, but you know, if I'm Banksy, okay, we're talking like, even if I just drew a smiley face, how much am I selling that for?
Yeah.
Millions, right?
Yeah.
It's all about it goes back to what Jalen Rose always said. You are worth what someone is willing to pay you. Full stop. It's all that matters. And someone's going to pay for this. I think it's really stupid, but.
Well, you enjoy that card, someone.
I know.
$1 million card.
How does that work? Like, what language is it in? What pack would it be in? Is it only an American pack, European? Is it completely random? Are you going to open up a card in like Farsi or something, but it's actually the card? I don't know exactly. Daniel Bass says, hang on, the grandpa did that to collect disability. Oh, okay. Wage earning potential. Okay, maybe so. Can it be Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon? Yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon is what you were looking for.
So the grandpa was actually trying to get disability for his family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's just trying to support his family. And you said that man's not trying to help his family. And now we've got a real issue.
Justin Android says, shock. T-Bob doesn't understand the point of something. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, okay. Well, what? Do you understand it, Jay? What am I missing? What is the point of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
That he was on disability.
I don't know. I think, I don't know what is. See, what is the moral point of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Like, what did Charlie actually? What did he do where you're taking a life lesson from and you're like, you know what? That's good. Okay, he won a gold ticket. Can't really take anything from that. That's just winning the lottery.
But he didn't.
Okay, he wasn't greedy, I guess.
He wasn't greedy. It's kind of what,
Yeah, he didn't do the Augustus Gloop thing.
Yeah, no. He didn't do any of it.
Yeah. He kind of did, though. Remember? You get nothing.
Yeah.
Good day, sir. You lose. So he did, he ate that gum when he wasn't supposed to. Or no, it wasn't the gum. It was the fizzy, whatever made him fly. And then they had to burp their way down. So what is the point? To maintain childlike wonder? To love your family? I don't know. Maybe I don't understand it. You're right, actually. I don't actually know what the point of Charlie the Chocolate Factory was. I apologize,
Didn't he
Justin.
get the factory in the end? Because
yeah,
he
but
did
why?
the things that he had to. I guess because he was the best of the worst.
But now I'm trying to remember, how did it go from you lose to actually you get the Chocolate Factory?
It's in the elevator. I have to go back and watch it. That's
saying.
not the movie review I was supposed to do, okay?
Yeah, I know. By the way, I dropped the ball in Sandlot, so we're going to have to push. I forgot, and I just watched more Succession, and now I'm halfway through season 4, and it's so damn good. Yeah, he drank the fizzy lifting drinks. Exactly. When does the Lord of the Rings Magic cards come out? I'm not sure. I'll know. I'll read it up next segment. What is the point, though, Justin? I mean, you seem to have a deep understanding of the Chocolate Factory. Maybe you can let me know. Okay, so I do want to talk Michael Thomas here, but I feel like now with this awkward little side road that we've gone down, the timing of this is not the best. So why don't we do this? Can you go to the 845, Taylor, and find this video of Trey Murphy doing workouts? Because because it's kind of mind-blowing. Real quick here, other random news story, and we'll get to Mike Tomlin in the next segment. I'm just going to put you next segment. Did you hear this last night? There was an earthquake in the Gulf of Mexico last night.
Was it the volcano in Jackson?
So kind of similar. Kind of similar. In that it was a rare seafloor earthquake. It occurred about 130 miles southeast of Gulfport, Mississippi. But apparently it's weird because the source can't really be identified. There's not known to be any fault lines or tectonic plates there and whatnot. And granted, scientists are saying, but these things do happen. And there's some fault lines we don't know about, et cetera, et cetera.
Scientists just saying stuff.
But what's interesting, Jake, there was also a 4.5 quake on the coast of North Carolina in April, where once again, they're on their fault lines, bottom of the ocean. Have you ever seen Pacific Rim? You seen it, Taylor? No, you give me a thumbs up at Trey Murphy?
I don't. Okay. Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Like robots fighting, maybe?
Yes. Robots fighting giant monsters that come from where?
From down below?
Bottom of the ocean. Okay, a portal at the bottom of the ocean. Make no mistake, there's a giant cover-up going on here. The kaiju are here, and I'm worried that we don't have giant robots to battle them with. Although in Pacific Rim, you have to control the giant robots with a partner because like they're so advanced that you know one human brain can't do it. I would love to mind meld with you and fight kaiju and a giant robot, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right, I watched Edge of Tomorrow again yesterday.
Tight movie.
Yeah, some crazy aliens in that one, and well, I can't give that away. I think. Well, I mean, look, that movie's been out. You can give away
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that movie's been out a long time. Great movie. You need to check it out. But also kind of from deep below the surface. Maybe in land, but still below the surface.
True.
You know?
Happened in Gears of War as well. All I'm saying is keep your eyes open, boys. Okay, it's on the horizon here. Edge of Tomorrow I'll always remember because it is maybe the best example of corporate suits not understanding the art they actually have in their hands, where they didn't think that movie was going to be good. They didn't like the name, which is actually a fantastic name.
Live, Die, Repeat was the other name.
And they changed it to Live, Die, Repeat. They literally threw all subtlety out the window and just told you exactly what like the kind of reveal was. Like you don't know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like the first time Tom Cruise's life is threatened in that movie, you're like, oh, wow, this is like crazy, right? But no, there's some dumbasses using focus groups and money and some finance bros basically come up and said, no, we got to rename it. Okay, we tested it. Edge of Tomorrow is actually genius because that's exactly where he exists, on the edge of tomorrow, but it doesn't tell you what's actually going on. Live, Die, Repeat's awful. Shout out Bill Paxton.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday I was watching it. I was like, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
I think I actually said, Brett.
I miss him, man. I miss him. I don't know what Twister's going to be like without Bill Paxton. All right, let's hit Trey Murphy, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little New Orleans Saints Mike Thomas. Look at this video, dude. Can I get a full screen there? Taylor Jake, do you think you could do this? Look at the bounce. Now, we know he can bounce, right? We saw him in the dunk contest and everything else, but it looks like he's only going to get more powerful and stronger as he gets older. If you're listening on the radio, he's doing a lunge jump where in the air, he's completely switching his legs and running for him and then putting them back in time to land very softly on the ground. My knees are creaking and hurting just looking at it.
There was a time I could probably do that, and that time's not now.
No, I don't think so either, dude.
It is not now. He really does have potential, though, to be like not just like a breakout player, but a potential like game-changing on the verge of star with how much he improved from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, because I always say 2 to 3 is a big jump.
Dalton Bennett says, bless brother with a Robbie Ashford on this fine morning. There you go. All right, when we get back, who wants to go to Little Wars with me and play some Lord of the Rings Magic? Bro, you know I do, dude. Okay, when we get back, let's talk Mike Thomas because guess what, Jake? He was back on the practice field yesterday. Yeah! How about it, dude? Huh?
Good team.
What? No, I need more. Mike Thomas back on the practice.
Yeah, if it was September, I'd give you a lot.
Wow, dude. Well, you may have some news coming September, according to Mike Thomas yesterday. Hey, real quick, I do want to remind you, it's NBA Finals week, okay? It's going on. Game 3 tonight. Who's going to win? Back in Miami? I don't know, right? But as Miami and Denver look to settle this thing, there's nowhere better than for you to play along with the action at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, okay? An official betting partner of the NBA. They're absolutely fantastic. Right now, if you're a new customer, you use the promo code Baton Rouge. You bet $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets. That's right. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets from the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you already are a customer, you can do the stepped up same game parlay where you make a parlay and every additional leg that you add gets you a 10% bonus after you opt in. Excuse me. And so, go for it, man. Just go crazy and do 10 legs and see if you win. You get up to 200% winnings. That'd be crazy. Are you going to play anything tonight, Jake?
I'll do exactly what you just said.
Oof, I would love to see.
Game parlay.
Yeah, send your 10 gamer to the group so we can all get in on it.
I've been trying to, I need to get a group chat going with a good little, extended parlay every day. We'll see if we can get it done.
I haven't heard much about your parlay. Is it because soccer's slowing down? What's been the?
Yeah, soccer is slowed down. There's no longer seasons right now. They're in their 10-week break right now.
So look, download DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, promo code Baton Rouge. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in and 10+ leg required for a 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER 1-800-426-2537. More OTB. Mike Thomas next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Join me, Jimmy Ott, and the Handyman. We're live at lunch at Modesto, the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch at Modesto on Burbank, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
But can't escape from you, so I keep it low. Keep a secret code so everybody else don't have to know. So keep your love locked down, your love locked down, keeping your love locked down, your love locked down. Now keep your love locked down.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Okay, so I have to fix something I said because I was wrong. I still don't know what Charlie and Chocolate Factory is about. So, like, if old boy wants to get back to us, you're more than welcome to hop back in the chat and let us know. But I had the Edge of Tomorrow thing completely wrong, Jake. So apparently the book has said All You Need Is Kill. That's a book. The title of the book is All You Need Is Kill. It was based. Shout out to Emil for sending me an article on this. Focus group said people didn't like Kill in the title. And also the director, Doug Liman, thought that title didn't really match the lighter tone of the film. The director was the one who wanted to do Live, Die, Repeat. And it was actually the studio who came up with the more generic Edge of Tomorrow. So I'm the a-hole. For years now, I've had it the completely wrong. And I've been yelling at non-existent suits about not understanding art, and I'm the dummy. So, look, I try to keep it. If I ever lie to y'all, it's not on purpose. Okay, that's the point. I do screw up a lot of things, but if I'm presented with information that shows me that I'm clearly wrong, I will put that out there. Yeah. God.
Either way, it was kind of a fumble.
It's just like, what else did I do? I can't. Oh yeah, I think I spent my entire life telling people Jonathan Taylor Thomas was gay, which I also don't think is true. But I always thought he was.
That just came up in random conversations?
Well, because he was such a
heartthrob?
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say sex symbol, but I was like, that's not right. He wasn't that. No, he was a heartthrob. He was a teen heartthrob back in the day.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was very ironic that he was gay, but I don't actually think he is. Like I said it for years and years and years, and I finally looked it up and it wasn't true. So I'm sorry, JTT, and I'm sorry, Warner Brothers executives, for painting y'all in a bad light. Michael Thomas? No? That I got that out of the way?
I mean, I don't think any other show will transition with that.
I mean, it's either Michael Thomas or the Swedish Sex Olympics. So you choose.
Michael Thomas.
Okay. I saw that gleam in your eye, though. You wanted to learn what those Swedes are up to.
No, it was not a gleam. It was a worry that at 8:21 in the morning, I don't think still people are ready for Swedish Sex Olympics?
Swedish Sex, we can save it for 9 a.m.
Okay.
Just know that those dirty Vikings, the Swedes, are competitivizing sexual intercourse. But we can get there when we get there. How about it, Saints fans? Mike Thomas back on the practice field. That's right, Jake. Yesterday, the media was privy to OTAs. And for the first time in this offseason program, Michael Thomas was there on the practice field. Now, apparently, he did work out Monday as well. Of course, meeting out loud on Monday. He did not do full team drills, but he was there on the side. He's working Derek Carr, working Jameis Winston, catching balls out there running around. But here's the headline big news quote. This was from Michael Thomas. He talked to the media after the fact. Quote, this is Michael Thomas. I'm going to be ready for training camp. First day one, out there with the team, ready to go, full speed, just like the old days and what everyone's used to. Let's freaking go, dude. Michael Thomas saying he's going to be ready day one, full speed, no BS, no, oh, it's coming along, none of this crap. No. Our boy is finally back. And if Thomas really could find even a modicum of the old days form, right? Think about how massive that is. How rare is it to add a 1,000-yard wide receiver that can catch 5 touchdowns? And Michael Thomas, that's on the low end of what he used to produce. But if you get that out of nowhere, you are a significantly better team. So let's go. Get hyped, Saints fans. Michael Thomas is back.
If he can give you 65 catches for 800 yards, that feels massive.
Feels great.
I mean, it wouldn't even be half of his best year, but still, from what he hasn't done over the last handful of seasons, but again, that's great. I love the quote. Because during this whole time, we hadn't even really heard something like that.
No, that's why that's a good point. That's why this matters. He has never been that forward.
No, and we know he was very upset with the quarterback situation over the last couple of years since Drew Brees left, but my goodness, they need they need him to be locked in like that, because not only for his play, but also for these young receivers to see that, because the last thing you want to do is have your young receiver seeing your star receiver in the training room, not out there on the field. So everything to do with Mike Thomas is going to be important for the Saints team. Now, how much can they count on him? That's really going to be the question.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you plan things around Mike Thomas and then all of a sudden here it is yet again, they're pulling the football from us and he's not out there, like that's when you get into trouble as well. Like I think Chris Olave is your number one receiver.
Ooh.
You drafted him in the first round. You moved up in the first round to select him. He's got to be your number one, because you just, at this point, you can't rely on Michael Thomas being there in November.
Wait, Taylor, I see you nodding your head in agreement there. You think Chris Olave is the number one as well in New Orleans?
Yeah, dude, I think he can do more. Like, no knock on Michael Thomas. Is Chris Olave a more complete receiver? He might actually be. I mean,
let's pump the brakes, bruh. Let's pump the brakes.
But it's not.
I feel
but
you're
that's not even the
Thomas doesn't have the ability to take the top.
That's not even the conversation of which player is better. That's not why I say Chris Olave has got to be number one. You know Chris Olave is going to be out there. You moved up in the first round. He is a first-round talent without question, but I also think he has all-pro potential. Look at what he did just in his rookie year.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to move forward with. And then everything you get from Mike Thomas is lagniappe, because you haven't had him. What's it been? I mean,
3
seasons?
For a full season, it's been 3 full years.
I think he's played 10 games in 3 years, and it was even like a hurt 10 games. The only time he was maybe close to being healthy was at the beginning of last year before he injured that foot. And look, he had 3 touchdowns in those 2 games, right? And he had those incredible plays to come back against Atlanta in that fourth quarter. Then the game that the Saints had no business winning.
I guess that's kind of my point, though. Like, at this point in Michael Thomas's career, how much are you going to get at him? Like, at this point in their careers, is Olave the guy that you can rely on more?
You're absolutely fair. Absolutely fair questions. And Michael Thomas does exist in that Zion zone where it's like mentally you've learned to prepare. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to have him. And if I do, great. Then I get an ultra talent out of nowhere. But the only other so the main thing I found interesting here was his quote about being fully ready day one. Okay, that's the most bought in we've ever heard him. The other interesting part of this is that while we're talking about how he's lagniappe and he's kind of just a bonus, the Saints sound more and more like they were always all in on him and like they expected it to work. Here's the quote from Mike Thomas yesterday. I knew I was always going to be playing here. I knew I was going to be the receiver. I knew our priorities for the offseason was getting a quarterback and putting pieces around us. I was always involved. That's interesting, Jake, because to me, that sounds, okay, first off, that sounds like Thomas was way out on Dalton and Jameis. Both of them. Didn't want to, and we kind of saw that. Remember the thank God tweet after they signed Derek Carr, all that other stuff, right? It also sounds though like the Saints and Mickey Loomis were all in on keeping Thomas at a time when we thought maybe they would be questioning, like, is he too injured? Like NFL teams hate unavailability more than any other trait in a player, right? So for the team to still be that bought into him after 3 years speaks to the potential that he once showed. And again, if he can even get back to a modicum of that, you were talking about the Saints getting a significant boost offensively.
You are. I mean, this is a player that literally won Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
Yeah.
He set records. I mean, things that people have never done before at the position. So, yes, I mean, that's an easy statement to make. But, one, it's not even the version that you're going to get because, like you said, like in the Falcons game last year, like that's the version that we expect to see. But it's how much of that are you actually going to get? And that's what's troublesome because it's not even a mentality thing. Some of it might be. It truly might be. We know that. But it's also, has your body failed you?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen players that their body just fails them.
The only thing that maybe changes my mind a bit in that regard is that this is one of the few situations where at least one of the seasons was due to Michael Thomas screwing up. It wasn't just bad injury luck or him getting a bad break because, like, he chose not to have that surgery.
Yeah.
He chose to wait to not have surgery till right before the season. Like, he chose. Now, I don't think it was nefarious. I think his heart was in a good place. He never, like, he's been very honest, right? He screwed up. He owns it. But, like, he screwed up one of those years. So this isn't like a guy tearing his ACL, come back, tearing the other ACL. Like, at least one of those years is just mismanagement. And so if you fix that, maybe the body is in a better position than we think it is. But then again, maybe not, because last year he came back and then it betrayed him once again. I mean, it remains to be seen. It's just that I don't know of too many times in my life, Jake, doing this job where I've seen an injury like that where I can clearly say this actually wasn't bad luck. This was just poorly handled.
Yeah,
that caused this.
And it was, and it feels like it's been poorly handled by a lot of different things and a lot of different people. But Michael Thomas is right there in the middle of it. And so if he can realize that, the last couple of years, like he has some fault in it, right, wrong, or indifferent, then that's a long way for him growing and having a quote like he had yesterday. So it's one of those situations where he is so talented, he is so good that you don't want to give up on him. You want to give him every single opportunity. This feels like the last opportunity, but just to see him out there as we sit here in June, that's a very encouraging sign. But if I'm a Saints fan, I'm not getting fully excited until I see him there dressed up, lined up in the 1st of September against another NFL opponent. It's not preseason. That's not going to do anything for me either. Regular season in September, lined up, ready to go.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to see him in preseason, really. I don't know. I mean, I want to see him a little bit, but I don't.
He's got to go out there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Knock the rust off for sure.
It could be a handful of plays, all 3 games combined.
But. Now, it's funny, though, because Emil says in the chat, Olave's best football still ahead of him. Everything in Olave's profile says he's an emerging superstar. I agree. But I do go back to the quote that Thomas said, I knew I was going to be the receiver. Mike still thinks of himself as wide receiver 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the front office is feeding that a little bit as well. And it seems like Derek Carr knows how to work with Mike. Like, it seems like he knows what to do as well in terms of how to talk to him, making him feel like the man.
I mean, they're both vets. So they can have a real conversation that you can't maybe have with a younger player.
True.
Younger players, your mind is everywhere. You have so many different things, and you want to make sure that you're on the same page. But with a vet, you can kind of be a little bit more harsh. You can, if he doesn't read the coverage, or if Derek Carr doesn't read the coverage, right, Michael Thomas, you can have those conversations, and feelings don't get really involved a lot of the time because you're like, hey, man, you've played a decade in the league. I've played 8 years in the league. Let's figure this out.
God, it's crazy that you talk about being a vet. This is going to be year 8 for Mike Thomas. Makes you feel kind of old.
There's a lot of things make me feel old.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I feel that, man. Like The Dark Knight coming out 15 summers ago.
That's one of them.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great either. But it does feel great? Heath Ledger's performance, the bank robbery scene, breaking the pool stick and saying, hey, who gets to be in the gang, burning the piles of money, all of it. Great
Heath
movie.
Ledger in Dark Knight or Val Kilmer in Tombstone as far as best supporting actor performance?
I'd have to recuse myself because I haven't finished Tombstone yet, but Heath to me is on the all-time list there.
So is Val.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I'll go Val Kilmer and Tombstone for sure because look, there's a lot of people out there. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of people who think that Jack Nicholson was the better Joker over Heath Ledger. There's comparable.
I don't see much of that.
There's comparable performances to Heath Ledger.
To me,
he was great. He was great.
Okay, but there's comparable performance. There's other great Western supporting roles. Even Ben Foster in the remake of 3:10 to Yuma was incredible.
No, I get it, but Dennis Quaid, great actor. If you go watch the movie Wyatt Earp, he plays Doc Holliday. He's terrible compared to Val Kilmer. He really is.
But comparing Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Joker, I think is just so where do you put Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, right? There's just such completely different interpretations. It's not actually if you side with one of them over the other, I don't think you're really, I think it's just that style that you like more. Maybe your Joker that you enjoy is the more zany, a little more comic booky, a little less psycho-terrorist than Heath Ledger's was.
Should we put it to a vote?
Who was the best Joker?
No, it's Heath Ledger, 100%.
No. Which supporting actor was better?
Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. Have y'all ever seen the? Well, I may have a video to play. We'll see. Put it to a vote. Citizens Bank and Trust 104.5 ESPN poll question of the day.
Randy Quaid is a superior Quaid actor. Look, Daniel, you're not going to get an argument from me. Great cousin, great family member.
Didn't Randy become big?
Randy's a little out there, I think.
Isn't he a big conspiracy theorist?
I think he is.
Government after him and all that.
I think he is. Great in Independence Day, though.
Yeah. No, Randy Quaid's roles are legendary. He will be with us forever. It's Cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Always will be. Always and forever. When his daughter is talking about learning the French kiss, Daddy says I'm the best. Legendary line. We'll live forever. All right, when we get back, here on OTB. Keep it locked. More flustering.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517, 225-206-1517. Hey, parents, you got a kid that's getting ready to drive? Sounds terrifying to me. But you know what's going to give you a little peace of mind? Knowing that your insurance taken care of. Okay, that you're saving money, but getting the coverage that you need. You can get that from Riverlands, but it's not just auto insurance. If you have a business and you need it, if you got vehicles for your business. Let's say, Jake, that you don't even, you probably don't even know what you're paying in home insurance. Maybe it's rolled into your mortgage. When's the last time you checked? Okay, the point is, you call 225-206-1517. That's Thomas' cell phone number. That's Riverlands Insurance. Thomas and Megan are going to shop for you, and they're going to find you the best policy. You don't lift a finger. You just save money. Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517.
Anywhere in the state of Louisiana, not just in the 225. If you're in Shreveport, if you're in Ruston, if you're in Lake Chuck, if you're in Lafayette, we are talking to you. Homa, doesn't matter. Anywhere in between as well. Call that number today, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, I'm happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvette Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious...
So join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll start to look at LSU and Kentucky. Chris Demouy going to jump aboard to talk Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. The other news from Saints OTAs yesterday, maybe a competition at kicker. Jake, old Notre Dame UDFA, Blake Grupe, Grupe, went 6 of 6, hit a 59-yarder, okay? And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because Will Lutz, even though he was awesome, kind of secretly started to suck. But, we haven't really talked about it that much, but he finished near the bottom of the NFL last year. I guess the point is Lutz seems to be in a bit of a, prove-it situation, and they have a rookie hitting 59-yarders going 6 of 6 and 8. So we'll see. It's going to be a good competition to monitor through camp for sure because you ain't keeping two, right?
No,
it's like the Highlander. There can be only one.
That's a position, man. Now, that's a position, and punter, obviously, where you have zero job security, but you also have all the job security because you're going to find a job. You'll land somewhere else. Yeah. Somebody else will miss 3 kicks, and then you got a job. But then you miss 3 kicks, and you're cut. So you can stay in the league for a long time. You can play for a lot of different teams. Every single Monday, I felt like we had kickers and punters out there. Every
Just
Monday.
Somebody coming for your job constantly.
Yeah, because a lot of us, we'd walk out there and be like, all right, who's out there? Oh damn. That's fullback.
That's a bad feeling.
That's 3 or 4, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Kickers and punters, every Monday. If we played a left-footed punter that week, they would invite a left-footed punter to work out, and that poor son of a gun had no shot. It was just Sproles going out there to catch punts from a left-footed punter.
Did you at least get paid for that?
Yeah, minimal.
Per diem?
You get it like a half-day trip to San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do get maybe some per diem. I don't remember. Those workouts they're interesting, to say the least.
Sweden has declared sex as a sport. And the first ever sex competition, Jake, is scheduled to get underway on June 8th, the highly anticipated European Sex Championship. It'll be happening under the guidance of the Swedish Sex Federation. The participants in this competition will have to engage in intercourse sessions that will last up to 6 hours on a daily basis. One solo match will go on for at least good 40 to 45 minutes. And the participants will be challenged in a variety of different categories, including foreplay, oral.
All right, dude. All right. Whoa.
Championship
Why
seduction.
Is this in there?
Championship seduction. Massaging various parts of the body. The prelude. I don't know. What's the difference between seduction and prelude and foreplay? These all seems like weird dividing lines. Endurance, appearance poses, creativity and changes of position, artistic performance, exchange of posture. How about it? And the most active couple during the competition, as well as the most artistic in the Kama Sutra, will become the champion. So in each discipline, you're going to score between 5 or 10 points. The panel is going to be a bit of public voting combined with the judges, and then eventually a winner will be declared. Could you imagine being declared European sex champion? Like that, guys, that would be a pretty big flex.
It would.
In terms of things to win, you know me. I mean, that sounds absurd. 40 minutes. I mean, what are we talking about, guys? You know what? I got stuff to do. Okay, I'm trying to finish Succession. I don't have time to just slap meat for 40 minutes. That's ridiculous.
I don't like when you say slap meat.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I know you have a
what we get
history
to.
with being naked around a lot of Brazilian meat. I know you do.
It's not
we
true.
all know that.
It's not true.
Texas Day, Brazil.
It's not
You
true.
had plenty of meat out.
Those are message board rumors. None of that is true.
Are they, though?
Yes, they absolutely are. I never swung meat at a Texas Day, Brazil. I want to be painfully clear about that. If you read that message board rumor, it's not true. But I mean, yeah, think about that, dude.
Look, somebody talks about the Swedish sex games. I think they sling meat at a Brazilian restaurant.
I just thought it was fascinating because to me, this is all very subjective, right? And also, I think about how funny judging one of these things would be. Have you ever judged a bikini contest? I had to judge one back in the day.
No, so they tried to get me to do that at a casino in Shreveport, and they were going to give me like a pretty good sum of money to play at the casino, and I was like, I'm not doing that. No.
It's the most awkward thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It was awful. It's like you're like making eye contact, and there's nothing really about it that's cool. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird. It all feels very kind of carnal, and like everybody's staring at you, and you're feeling self-conscious, and and then you're like, all these women are beautiful, and everybody's like super ripped and everything, but you're having to like pick out flaws and try to find like foibles. Like, it's something that you think sounds cool, and then you go through it, and it actually sucks. Maybe if you're just some horny bastard in the crowd at the thing, like that's one thing. But I that one time I was not a fan at all. And this seems like that, just up by multiple orders of magnitude, right?
Yeah. I'd say this is a step up.
We don't really like what he did with his hip there, do we? No, I'm going to have to dock him a couple of points for that. Oh, only 32 minutes. Pathetic. 5.
Are we going to have juicing laws as well? I mean, is Blue Chew going to be banned like steroids?
That's true. I mean, are we testing? That's a great point. If it does, I mean, what are we talking about, dude? I want to know the rules, okay? I want to make sure that when you claim a European sex champion, that I can feel strongly that this guy earned the title, okay? That this man and woman earned those titles. That said, the Swedes, very high on the list of people that I would choose to figure this out. Beautiful people, stuck inside all winter. I'm sure that they have ample experience in trying to perfect said techniques. So, look, starts in 2 days, boys. Or tomorrow, actually.
Oh, okay.
Get your calendars ready.
Mm-hmm.
Live stream?
No. That'll be banned in Louisiana.
The ambassador says Rule 69, points will be deducted every time a man talks during the competition. Oh, man. Yeah, look, he got her. It is the oldest profession. That's true. It's really the most ancient of competitions. The things that every single being on this earth, be it male, female, are always trying to win. It's about time. Shout out to the Swedes. Getting it done. Yeah, I have no out here. So, yeah.
No, you have no transition.
Nope. That was it. That was the bit, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Close that hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota. Of Baton Rouge.
Sorry.
They'd win in car competition.
Yeah, they would.
European car champions. Even though Toyota's Japanese.
It's Asian.
But that's fine. Toyotas are all around the world, though. Why? Because they're dependable. When you buy a Toyota, it's an investment for life. I mean, come on. We all had the boy in high school who had the old 1992 Tacoma that was still rolled right along with 300,000 on it. And that's because the Japanese engineering stands the test of time. So what are you waiting for? You need a vehicle for you, your family. Maybe you want something a little more sporty. Maybe you want a big truck like the Tundra. Maybe you want a minivan, whatever. It's all there for you at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge with great people that work there. Great prices, the absolute best. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com is that website. Check out per day rental prices because summer vacation's coming up and you probably need something a little bit bigger for your trip. You got the luggage, you got sports equipment if you're going to a tournament. All of that can be handled over at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We'll hear from Jay Johnson as the Tigers continue to get ready for the Baton Rouge Super Regional against Kentucky. And it's a Whiskey Wednesday. Join us, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You know, we were talking about the Joker, and it is kind of interesting to think, dude. I don't know that there's a fictional character with a higher hit rate than the Joker, right? Because Heath Ledger's fantastic, Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic, and Jack Nicholson's fantastic. Cesar Romero from the original Adam West Batman's back in the day, also fantastic. Now maybe not on those guys' levels, but still very good. Mark Hamill, the voice of Joker in the animated series, definitely on those levels. Like, really, Jake? I mean, the Joker misses have been what? Jared Leto?
Hey, you're not going to talk about my 318 brethren like that.
As our guy Holdemayor would say, Jared Leto. Look, I got no problem with Jared Leto, right?
Leto.
Like, I think he's.
Let's don't even start that either.
I think he's been really good and stuff before, and I don't think it's his fault. I just don't think it was a very good Joker. But like the overall point,
it wasn't a very good movie.
No, exactly right. But it's just wild to think about this fictional character being interpreted. So it actually, you know what it does do? It speaks to the source material of the character, and it is perfect for the Joker, where you don't really know his origin story. You don't really ever know what his motivations are. He's always changing. He's always lying. Like the Joker as a villain, one of the reasons why I think he's so interesting and strong story-wise is just that he's kind of a foil, right? Like you can kind of massage him into whatever type of character that you want him to be.
You can what?
He can be massaged.
You can massage him?
He can be zany and harebrained, or he can be like sinister and evil. He can be some mixture of the two. Like you can really kind of play him however you want. And it works. It works. For that reason.
Does that make Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday even more impressive because there hasn't been a bunch of good performances from the character Doc Holliday?
The only thing I can't speak to is I don't know what it was like when Tombstone came out, because when The Dark Knight came out, I mean, everybody was just like their hair blown back, blown away. But then you also had the added context of us knowing that Heath Ledger died while making the movie. And then like the kind of urban legend about, he was so infected by the character of the Joker, instead of what actually happened, where it's like, he's like, just was partying, one like drugs too much, like a lot of people do, and ended up dying. So, it's tough to say. It's tough to say. I threw my vote with Joker though.
This one's tough. It's a tough
Whatever's
one
worth.
because Heath Ledger, fantastic. I mean, one of those performances that everyone applauds. And maybe it's because of the time I saw it, being a young fella and just still appreciating what Val Kilmer did and going back and it's still having its fastball. I might go Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the T-Bob's point. It is not Heath Ledger's fault that there's been so many hits on the Jokers, but that's what I'm saying. There's never been another Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. It's not Heath Ledger's fault.
Yeah, but Doc Holliday is a real person. He's not as interesting of a character to write in general as a Joker is, or he's just never going to be interpreted in as many different ways.
You got to watch Tombstone though.
I know, fair. I got to finish.
I think to appreciate it, you have to watch Tombstone.
That's fair. You're right. Full stop. Hey, Jake, real quick, got a minute here. I want you to break down Brian Kelly's. We don't need it with sound, Jake. I want you to break down Brian Kelly's form here. So I don't know what this is at, some camp here, but look at our guy, BK, our fearless leader, stepping up to the, what do you call those things? All vert things? All bunny hop things?
Yeah. Around the rail. Okay. The tackling form looks really good. I mean,
I don't know.
He loads up, he brings the arms, he wraps up, had his head on the side, eyes up.
Go back a little bit here.
Outside of trying to get a little bit more bend, on the what do you call
the hoop?
What do we call those? Yeah,
the hoop. He did not bend the hoop at all.
Outside of that, though, knees look good. Just bend a little bit more there, but I like the finish. Eyes up.
I want to add like a little Mario sound effect when he jumps, dude, because it's such a little kid. Like, yoo! He just launches himself. Hey, you know what? South Bend Brian Kelly would never.
Oh, my gosh, man. BK was so good down in Destin. Everyone enjoyed him.
What a legend.
He's in a good spot. He's in
have
a good
it your
spot
way.
right now.
I want an SEC
Off the
champion
bench with Hester and T-Bob.
with extra Bama tears. Hey, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuva me. For all of your anti-aging needs. If you want to rejuvenate the youthful, energetic feeling that you used to have, right? It's all there for you. Go check out their YouTube channel. You can start to look at how things work. But honestly, guys, look, you do upkeep on everything in your life, right? Your car, your computer, your home. But we expect our bodies to just do what they do. No. To the body mechanics, okay? Over there, Rejuve Me. Maybe HRTs for you, maybe not. Maybe metabolization optimization, semaglutide is for you, maybe not. The point is, have these questions answered by getting your lab drawn, getting that free consultation. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Yeah, once you go to the website, you can see that there's a full list of conditions that they can treat, and that list is long, and you might be dealing with something, but you won't know until you go find out. Take full advantage of that consultation. Get it set up today on the website, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Wednesday, June 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 89. On hour 3 of Off the Bench, we talk a little LSU football, and as always, we wrap up the show with Ask the Bench. Hour 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, hour number 3. College Football Hall of Fame list came out. Brady James up on the ballot once again. Shout out to Brady James. Hopefully he can get a push. Michael Vick on the ballot as well, Jake. Who else is on there? Ran through a little bit of it the other day. There's a couple
so for me, a couple of names that stood out, and there's some great ones on there. There's former teammates like Eric Weddle. There's guys that I played against, like James Laurinaitis. That, man, I respect the hell out of James.
Yes, that's another one that I feel like needs to be first ballot.
And who he was as an Ohio State Buckeye, and who he was certainly in the NFL with the Rams. But, like, one thing that I did when I'm going over this list, I started to see some guys that, like, some of my core football memories, like, because I was a little bit older and I understood, like, Tim Couch when he was at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I remember turning on the old Jefferson Pilot game. Kentucky was always there. And I remember watching that time. They beat Alabama for the first time like in 75 years. He was the quarterback. He was SEC Player of the Year at Kentucky at that time.
He was so good.
They were doing something that nobody else was doing in the SEC, throwing the football.
Yeah.
Hal Mumme, Mike Leach. And I just remember being like, Dad, like they're throwing the football like 35 times a game, and that being like a core memory for me, and seeing him and kind of realizing Kentucky wasn't going to beat everybody, but they had a chance because of the style of offense. They played another name, kind of similar vein, Antoine Randall L. When he played quarterback at Indiana, he's on this list. And he threw for 6,000, ran for 3,000, the first FBS player to ever do that when he did it. And he was, man, Indiana, again, they weren't going to win them all. They were going to lose a lot. But with him back there, they had the opportunity to beat almost anybody.
And he ended up playing receiver in the NFL now. Am I crazy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now he threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
With the Steelers.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, 10-year career at receiver. Really good player. And so names like that, we had two of the candidates on the show yesterday on Off Campus. Mark D'Antonio, head coach, Michigan State and Cincinnati. A lot of fun to catch up with him. Bobby actually played for him.
Had him rolling for a minute there, dude.
He was Bobby's defense coordinator at Ohio State. And we're doing the interview, and I find out during the interview that Bobby's brother is Mark D'Antonio's son-in-law. And Bobby just never said anything. I'm like, we're about to have this man on the show. That's your brother's father-in-law, and you just like don't mention that? He's like, what? That's not weird. I'm like, no, it's really weird.
Yeah, like, of course. Did you come up with a conversation immediately when you talk about having
we got D'Antonio? Yeah, that's my
brother's how crazy is that?
Yeah, I was like, you meathead. So we had him. We had Ryan Leaf on, and Ryan Leaf yesterday, and Ryan worked for us, SiriusXM. We do a lot of stuff together, but anytime you hear him talk about, he's like, look, I didn't deserve to be in the College Football Hall of Fame before now. He goes, now my stats, they did, and winning the Rose Bowl and having the year we had in 97 and all of that. He said, but it's off the field as well. Yeah. He said, I didn't take care of the things off the field. That's what he said. He said, I was not the person I needed to be in their Hall of Fame. And he said, thankfully, Archie Manning and everybody else that, is on the board there, like they realize that, I've turned around. I've done some things the right way, and I've got this great path going, and he does. I mean, he's got a great podcast right now that I believe Fanatics just bought the company, and so like they are blowing up. And nice. Ryan, I always enjoy my conversations with him, man. He does not run from anything. He accepts it all, and he knows who he is now compared to who he used to be. So he mentioned, like, now I get to be on that ballot. Now Mike Vick gets to be on that ballot because of the things that we've done in our life. And so it's great stories all over the place. You go across that list, T, there's name after name after name.
Yeah, it is crazy. And so you have to be first-team All-American to even qualify to make it. I didn't know this. So I don't know anything about early 90s college football, the weird time when, like, Colorado's win natties. I never knew this. Did you know this, Taylor? Eric Bieniemy was the guy on those teams. He was the running back.
Yeah. Cordell Stewart was the quarterback.
First team All-American. I remember Slash. I didn't remember Bieniemy, though. First team All-American. Finished third in the Heisman. Bieniemy did. Played in 2 natties, one in 1990. I didn't realize they played for 2.
I didn't realize they played for 2 either. I knew they.
Shout out Colorado. Jerome Brown's on this list. That's the guy that my old man always said was maybe the scariest interior lineman he ever went against. Kajana Carter. Let's go, dude.
That was another name. I said, man, I had a Kajana Carter card. And so, like, the right side of it was a normal card. The left side had, like, a 1 kind of cutout on the edge, and it was Cincinnati Bengals. He finished second in the Heisman, I believe, to Rashaan Salam in 95. I mean, he was a stud. I mean, they went 12-0 that year. They won a Rose Bowl.
They didn't win a natty, though. 12-0 Rose Bowl got second.
Finished second. I was like, I'm going to retire off this Kajana Carter card.
Yep.
Like, this is going to be my retirement plan. Forget a 401k. I got this card. Well, y'all know how his NFL career turned out.
I didn't realize this. Warwick Dunn is the only Florida State rusher in history to have 1,000-yard seasons in 3 consecutive years.
I feel like Warwick Dunn in today's college football. Now, he was a dog then.
Yeah.
Now, maybe even more of a dog.
Toby Gerhart.
Oh, shout out.
Wow,
I hadn't thought about that name in a long time.
Speaking of representation, Toby Gerhart remains Stanford's all-time leader in career rushing touchdowns with 44 of them things.
He finished second in the Heisman?
Let me see.
Troy Smith, if I'm not mistaken.
Heisman runner-up in 2009. Unanimous. First-team All-American, won the Doak Walker as well. Man, how was he not better in the league? Larry Fitzgerald numbers are stupid. I forgot about how good he was at Pittsburgh at a time when, like, I don't know, Pittsburgh wasn't really doing well. Graham Harrell's on this list. Marvin Harrison's on this list once again. Garrison Hurst. Hell yeah. Ironhead Hayward. I didn't realize this. Ironhead Hayward on this list. Hell yeah, man. Let's go. It's cool. It's fun. I hope Brady James makes it, man. This is a hell of a list. Olin Kreutz,
I think Ron Rivera is on that list.
How many people get in each year? Marshawn Lynch?
I'm not even sure, but man, that's
Kellen Moore, 50-3.
Yeah.
As a starting quarterback. Crazy. Ooh, Paul Posluszny or whatever. Yeah, the old Penn State guy.
Man, me and Paul got into it one time, Monday Night Football. We were beating the hell out of them. And we were just running. We were in their stadium, and we just kept running ISO because we were trying to run out the clock. And I'm like, this guy, because of the way Paul played, he was just going to take you on. He wasn't going to try to make you miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some linebackers like Patrick Willis. He's going to run over you, run through you, run around you. Well, Paul was like a Penn State-ass linebacker. And he was just going to sit there. He was going to try to, take you on. So, for me, I made my job easier. So, I mean, it's just full sprint. Oh. I got 5 yards. He's got 5 yards.
It's a car wreck.
Wow.
That's not good.
And we just kept talking ish the whole game.
It makes me
I enjoyed
uncomfortable.
It, though. It was fun.
It makes me uncomfortable in my old age. It just seems like it hurts so bad, probably. Takeo Spikes, put him in the first team All-Neck Hall of Fame. That is for sure.
One of the most entertaining teammates I think I've ever had was TK Spikes. TK was not going to, he would have a good time, but was so smart about having a good time. Like, you would be, enjoying like a nice meal on the road, and, he'd be passing out jokes, and he'd pick up the tab a lot of times too. But he'd also be like, all right, got to go. We're like, curfew. No, got to get in. Got to get that sleep in, boys. Let's go.
Damn, I wish I was like that. Your boy Terrell Suggs on this list here as well.
Beast.
Peter Warwick. Let's go. That's cool, man. Very, very cool. College Football Hall of Fame. Let's see who ends up there. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. I forgot that I actually had Shea Dixon scheduled for 9. Shay's texting right now. We missed that. So we're going to see if we get Shay next. Here on OTB, 104.5 ESPN.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clash and chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Me, Jimmy Ott and the Handyman. We're live at lunch at Modesto, the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch at Modesto on Burbank, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, it's my pleasure to talk to our guy from On3 Sports, Mr. Shay Dixon. Shady Shay, what's happening, bro? What's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot. Thanks for having me on, T-Bob.
Shay, of course, you can go to On3. They do really, really good work in terms of like graphics. Kill it on the social media side, and the coverage of LSU is fantastic as always. Shay, did you see?
Before we get to LSU stuff, sorry to cut you off, T-Bob, because I've got to get this in. Shay, how'd you feel about the way West Ham finished the season, and do you care that T-Bob makes fun of Texas A&M blowing bubbles when West Ham does the same thing?
Pathetic.
Wow, we're going straight to the hate.
No, it's no hate. I'm giving you the chance to be able to, tell
as
T-Bob.
an adult male, do you like to blow bubbles? Sorry.
When the last time.
We don't need to make it. No, hold on. We don't need to make it gender specific.
Yeah.
As an adult, do you like to blow bubbles?
I would say, or in the traditional, no. I think that's most y'all. I'm going to say y'all are only blowing bubbles because you're around children, right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but, I'm not. So that would make it a little bit more weird if I just had like bubbles on hand at the house.
True. That's very fair. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, you have dogs, though. Dogs enjoy bubbles as well.
A&M fans, weird, and it sounds like West Ham fans, weird. I don't know what I mean. I don't know. I'm just drawing the lines here.
Well, they'll be in Prague coming up here, and I just came back from across the pond 2 weeks, but I did not go to London, so I didn't do any.
2 weeks in Europe?
Real heart of the soccer. Yeah, I did Amsterdam and then through Florence and Venice and Rome and Tuscany, and I shouldn't have come back, I don't think.
Oh, my God, Shay. That Italian trip you just described is my dream. I wonder where he went to Amsterdam, but let's stick with maybe Italy for a second. Did you get to see the Colosseum?
I did, and we did a tour where we got to go down to the bottom, which was fun. Our tour guide, of course, said that Gladiator is completely 90% fiction, but I went home and watched it anyways afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, the Colosseum was cool. The amount of churches and just architecture that is so old beyond even what you're able to wrap your mind around is wild. But I think we did every day. I think we were at 25,000 steps a day. I mean, it was from 7 a.m. until doing tours and everything else. So tired, but we got it all in. Everything that's over there in those major cities, I can now have said I've seen, even if I was working on no sleep.
Did you see Nick Saban while you were in Italy? I think you were there at the same time.
It's fun. I saw that he was over there, and it was kind of in a little group setting. It was before I was there, but each time we got to the group and I looked around, I was like, "Who are all these people? I need a college coach in here or something."
Well, okay, so what's kind of funny about this, Shay, is I thought about Nick Saban going to the Coliseum, and I'm like, man, he must have a really interesting perspective on it, right? I wonder, does he get can he feel the coaching vibes of the past, Jake? You know what I'm saying? Can he feel one of those Dominus' spirits speaking to him as the people that he are training are battling in that arena? And I wonder, Shay, as a recruiting expert, okay, who's evaluated a lot of talent, who has been in a lot of major stadiums, were you getting any sort of weird connective echoes to the past, or you could see yourself sitting there and basically scouting gladiators for different senators in their households?
Yeah, I could definitely see him correcting a lot of these tour guides who were very
right.
Right. They were very stern with it. At one point, a woman did tell the tour guide, "Hey, you're moving a little too fast," and he stopped, and he was an Italian guy, and just pretty much hit her with the look, I'm really good at my job. Like, you should just keep up. Like, and someone else is like, you're doing fine. He's like, see, I'm excellent at my job. So I could see if Saban ran into one of those, them two having some words. I wish I could have been on a tour with him for simply that interaction.
All right, Jay. So a lot has been going on with LSU, though. A few official visits coming up or came this last weekend. It feels like probably every weekend they got them lined up. I will say this. I am just blown away by the amount of logistics that actually go into an official nowadays. It is mind-blowing. But before we get there, LSU has camp today, 3 to 7. Did you see Brian Kelly doing the bag drills?
That was at the women's golden,
Golden Spikes. Yeah.
Yes. I guess I only saw a brief thing this morning of him maybe doing. It looked like he was doing some footwork drills.
Yeah,
so
some footwork drills. He did footwork and then he hits a dummy. Give me a star rating based on what you saw out of Kelly.
Oh, I think he's a solid 4-star, right? Who's got are we talking about his actual what he did? He's got to know enough about the game to put himself
right.
at 4-star.
That's right.
I don't know.
T-Bob's so hung up on these 5 stars today, Shay.
Bruh,
He's talking about blue chip ratio.
You are way too defensive on blue chip ratio. It is not saying
That's all he's talking about, Shay, all
except
day.
The only thing blue chip ratio is saying is that X percentage of the roster were once ranked as 4 stars. That is all it is saying, full stop.
I've actually got an article that y'all will love. It's coming out tomorrow. And it's got a bit of blue chip ratio in it, but it's really about why Louisiana and LSU in particular, why they should take such advantage of Louisiana, and comparing really the 3-star guys who develop out of Louisiana and go on to get drafted to the 3-star guys they take from outside the state, and then how often those guys leave compared to when the Louisiana guys will stay put. I think it just brings up an interesting element too, because the number of guys, and this doesn't spoil the story, there's a lot in the story, but the number of guys that LSU takes each year from Louisiana and ultimately then gets drafted doesn't match. It's lower than the number of Louisiana guys that get drafted. So I just feel like in this era, when not just the transfer portal era, but now you've got more intel than ever on kids. They're subscribed to all these different services that give them, all their combine measurements and everything, and you're getting them to camp, that you should be able to evaluate the state better than you ever did before. And if you do that, I think that there's actually more, like people talk so much about top-end talent, there's more 3-star talent that can be developed in Louisiana really than anywhere else. That's where LSU really has to put their foot down and say, hey, look, we're going to take this kid instead of going up to wherever, Florida or the East Coast, and grabbing, whomever else that might be rated about the same.
Well, it kind of dovetails a little bit, Shay, with a piece that Brody did not long ago, where him and some members of The Athletic looked at that actually LSU is a bit of 3-star U, in terms of developing. We're not the best when it comes to the top line 5-star guys, but as a school, they've been very good at putting maybe lesser guys in the league. So it's interesting. You're seeing there's a little more meat on the bone. Okay, I look forward to chewing it up when the piece drops. LSU has camp today, 3 to 7 p.m. Give us the rundown. What should LSU fans be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so last week was the first O-line, D-line camp. And these camps are when the coaches can actually get, in the only time, they can get hands-on with players in terms of coaching them, instruction, running them through drills, all of that. So it's a very important piece of the evaluation process. It gives you so much more than, what full game film or checking in on a spring practice does for you. But O-line, D-line was a week ago. They handed out a handful of new offers, a lot of new offers for future classes, kids that are juniors and sophomores, or will be, I should say. And then today is the first skills camp, or I should say elite camp. The big elite camp will be later this month on the 16th, 17th, I think it is. But today they'll have a lot of big names in. They'll have some quarterbacks in that are going to throw. We'll get to see, I think, some Louisiana skill guys that are always out there. You got to remember, these are the camps where DJ Chark pops up. And all you've done is talked about, Malachi Dupre and Trey Quinn and all these other kids who had really dominated, whether it was rankings or the production in the state. And a guy like Chark shows up and just balls out and gets an offer and ultimately becomes a really key piece to your program. So I always love watching these days unfold, because Louisiana is just one of those states where kids can come out of Central Louisiana, North Louisiana, different spots in South Louisiana where you knew who they were, you've seen a bit of their film. Maybe their high school wasn't all that great, but boy, when you see them in person, it really elevates them to a new level, and boy, it can change some lives. I mean, kids go from no offers to picking up an LSU offer, and that's pretty big time. So I'm excited about tonight. We'll have a lot of coverage from that.
Hell yeah.
Shay, they had 3 official visits in this past weekend. You had a receiver, a DB, and an offensive lineman. Anything from those 3 players that maybe, is a good thing for LSU, or maybe you're not hearing as much about those 3 players?
Yeah, I'd start with Marcus Muscall, who is the Georgia offensive lineman who
imagine that.
Brad Davis got in on him early, and I'll say this, Brad Davis, who, he was with Sam Pittman for a bit. Coach O brought him down here. He's a Baton Rouge native. You look at the past couple of the line classes, and you feel very good about him. Like, I thought he did a great job last year. You get the 2 best in-state players. They're immediately starters for you at the 2 tackle spots. You went and got a guy in Georgia, 2 guys in Georgia, Paul Mabenga, but also DJ Chester, who a lot of big teams wanted, and they were able to win it out. So I really trust Brad Davis when it comes to evals and getting guys. And then if your head coach has to sign off on it, there probably aren't many head coaches out there who I feel as good about O-lineman as Brian Kelly, just because of what he's done at Notre Dame and how many guys went on to play in the NFL, and that weren't all 5-star guys. They got in and developed. So Mascall, when they offered him, I think he had like Georgia Tech and like maybe NC State. They offered. After that, Florida came in and some others, but he's down to Florida, LSU, NC State. He'll be at Florida this weekend, then NC State, then he'll have a decision. I like where LSU sits there, and I think he could be a pretty key piece. I think he's going to be a guy who continues to rise in the rankings just as more people get an eye on him. Joshua Lair was the safety, but at receiver, Jeremiah McClellan came in. He's from Missouri, St. Louis, and he's a big-time player, top 300 prospect, a 4-star, and it's a really interesting year for a receiver. And I say this all the time because Louisiana, not this about this year, but LSU in general, and I've said this on the show before, correct me if I'm wrong about who we'd have to think back on. If you think back on impact wide receivers at LSU, guys who even started, they were from out of state. I'd have to go back to Terrence Oliver, JoJo LaFell. Like, I can't name guys since then that were out of state that started it. I mean, it's always been Louisiana guys. And we see it right now. Brian Thomas, Kyron Lacey, Malik Neighbors, Chris Hilton, even those next guys up, they're all Louisiana guys. Now, this year's cycle in Louisiana, they only have 1 offer out, and it's Jacoby Young, who's uncommitted over at Holy Cross. I think maybe in the summer months we see that maybe they pull the trigger on another guy, maybe 2 here in Louisiana, but reality remains that if you don't feel like the state's giving you 3 or 4 no-doubt receivers, you got to go get them, and that means going into different parts of the country and swinging for the fences on guys like Jeremiah McClellan, who's down to really LSU and Ohio State. And Ohio State's just done a fabulous job recruiting receivers over the past, 5, 6, 7 years. So that will be an interesting battle to watch unfold, and really just receiver in general. I'm kind of curious to see how they come away because a year ago they took a couple in-state kids, Shelton Sampson and Kai Preon, but also went to Florida and got Jalen Brown. They went to Texas and got Kyle Parker. So you're having to do a little bit of kind of deeper digging outside the state at receiver than maybe you're used to if you're on LSU staff. And for me, it's just kind of an interesting storyline. It's just not ever had to track that much just because Louisiana produces wide receivers at a rate that really no other state does.
Shay, you mentioned O-line, D-line camp going down, and it seems like every year LSU and the offensive line is the more interesting conversation to have because it seems to be a position that Louisiana doesn't really produce, right? And I feel like you're actually in a really good spot right now. But what about the D-line? And the only reason I say it is because, look, this year with Mekhi Wingo and Mason Smith, you look like you should be pretty incredible on the interior. But that said, and even though, look, you've had a lot of guys. Like, there was an entire Athletic article yesterday, Jake, about Neil Farrell and how good he's been in Vegas and how much better he be. It's like there's been guys, but why is it, Shay? Is it just maybe the game has changed? Why is it that you don't feel like you have ever reached the kind of Saban-esque or Miles Prime heights that you used to when it looked like the whole defensive line was made up of NFL guys, a lot of which came from Louisiana?
Yeah, I mean, it's a case-by-case thing. There's no doubt when you look at the NFL draft stuff that Louisiana produces skill players well over O-line, D-line, or even quarterback. These are positions often you have to go elsewhere to find. I'd say that look, the number one player in the state this year is Dominic McKinley at Acadiana. He's a 5-star. He's a defensive lineman. So for LSU, it starts there. And they've already got Ahmad Bro committed, who's a D lineman out of Ruston. They went all the way to the state title in a great game with Destrehan. And he's a very good player. I saw him at camp this past week. And if he had not gotten offered and committed already, he would have been offered and pressed to commit then. I mean, he looks solid. So you've got some nice jumping off points. They've got Kalash Cobbins out of Destrehan committed as well. It's kind of an edge linebacker type. But I think for me on D-line right now, and I do agree, I think this year's D-line with the transfers they took as well, they're really deep. That won't be an issue at all for them. And they're really good at that starting for, like Savion Jones, Quincy Wiggins. Those are guys who I think we're going to start to hear more and more about. And we know what Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo can do. I just point to, and you guys know this because you're recruits, it's tough to win battles in recruiting when you're working on a very short clock as a coach. And what I mean by that, I guess, is LSU's had 3 D-line coaches in 3 years.
Yeah,
it was the Orgeron era, then you go to Jamar Kane, now you're on Jimmy Lindsey. So when you're hitting the reset button with who's recruiting you, every 12 months, and that's kind of the streak they've been on here for a few years, it makes it tough. Now, Jamar Kane came from Oklahoma, so he had the benefit of being able to recruit a couple of guys out there that he had been recruiting at Oklahoma. Jimmy Lindsey comes from South Carolina, and he had recruited some guys who were similar to LSU, but I'm sure Jimmy Lindsey will tell you, okay, well, the expectations are raised now. Like, I'm not after the same guys at South Carolina that I'd be after at LSU. And then you've got to kind of start over, really, in terms of building board and going after guys, and it almost takes a year to get settled in. Yeah. So that's one position I think that's going to be interesting to watch, because I think people wanted a little more from last year's D-line class, and now you're sitting there, kind of wondering, hey, can we make up for that? Can we have an even better D-line class this year, while also knowing that we've had 3 D-line coaches in 3 years, and what that means for recruiting and the hurdles you have to overcome because of it.
That's a really good point, Shay, something I hadn't even thought about, because a lot of times in high school recruiting that we talk about over the transfer portal is you've recruited that high school player for 2 years. You've talked to the assistant principal, you've talked to the janitor, you've talked to everybody to get to know who that young man is, and you have a relationship. I can tell you, I've got relationships with coaches that I obviously didn't sign with that just recruited me for 2 years, and we have a relationship and still talk 20-something years later. So there certainly is something to that, because in the transfer portal, you have 48 hours sometimes to decide if you want to play or not. So if you don't have consistency, and sometimes you can't help it, maybe you do lose a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's one thing I think about the portal, and some college coaches have brought this up to me, is they're spending a lot of time right now recruiting guys that they haven't offered. Let's say in Louisiana, they haven't offered them. And if I'd say, Coach, what's the percentage chance that kid ends up in the class? It might be under 30%. It might be under 20%. But, Jake, what happens in 3 years when that kid hits the portal from another school and says, man, you never showed me any love. You never talked to me. You didn't even drop by my high school whenever I was coming out. Or is it, oh, you were all over me. You had me at camp. You brought me in on visits. You let me come on OVs. Y'all didn't offer. Y'all had other kids on the board, but I know y'all. And as you said, Jake, maybe you've got a week to decide. If you're talking about going back home and playing at LSU and they dial you up, is it a cold call, or is it, hey, it's us? We recruited you hard coming out of high school. We weren't able to offer, but we want you now. So it's almost like building relationships is more important than ever, because so much of a program now is going to be built on the portal. And a lot of that is, are you starting fresh with a kid who's got a week to decide, or did you already put in a number of years of work with him, even if you didn't go to your school?
Yeah.
I mean, that is truly awful. I mean, so at a time when coaches already don't have any time left whatsoever, you now have to recruit kids that you're not going to get on the off chance that they may hit the portal in a couple of years.
Does coaching in the NFL sound good right now?
I mean, bro, are you kidding me? Give me to the league ASAP. There's a reason why LSU's rolling through so many defensive line coaches. Shay Dixon, at Shay Dixon on Twitter, Superior Influencer, also covers recruiting in the LSU beat for On 3. Go follow Bengal Tiger on 3. Him and Billy Embody doing some excellent work over there. But you already know Shay, man, if you're listening to this show. So, Shay, thank you so much, man. And I look forward to reading the new piece. So let us know when it drops.
Yes, tomorrow. And Superior Influencer sounds like I'm a really great influencer, which would be so far from the truth. And yet it's one of those you got to know type lines.
Margarita influencer is more of what we're talking about. All right, Shay, you have a good one, man.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Take it easy, brother. Oh, my God, dude. Calling kids that you know aren't going to commit to you just so you have a pre-existing relationship. Ugh. Awful. Coaching, decidedly not tight. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked. Hit the like button, 104.5 ESPN.
OTB, OT.
CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552 is the number. CentralPlumbing.org is the website. Central Plumbing is the business, and plumbing is the work, okay? So any work you need done, not just repairs, though. They do have 24/7 emergency service. They have flat rate pricing. They got a great warranty. They have everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured. So for the actual work, repairs, or whatever that you need, they get in there ASAP. You got family in town. Doesn't matter. They got your back. But it's not just repairs. What if you want to maybe do like a little anniversary present to you or your wife, whoever cares more about interiors, right? Maybe do a little bathroom remodel. Get you a tankless water heater if you got a bunch of kids like Jake do, sucking up all the hot water. The point is Central Plumbing's the answer to both of these things and more.
Yeah, bathroom remodel at the house, restroom remodel at your business. I mean, they can do it all. They'll come in, they'll kind of give you a consultation exactly what they can do for you. If you go to the homepage there, the website, you'll see the fleet is ready to go, and so they can handle any job, no matter how big your business is. Check all of that out today, centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll start to look at LSU and Kentucky. Chris Demouy going to jump aboard to talk Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTB. You want to come hang out tonight to be at Oliver Twist? 7 to 8 p.m. Just going to tea. Come get some drink, get some food. Listen to Jake, Sirius XM 84, off campus, 2 to 5 p.m. Who you partner with today?
Today is Benjamin Hartsock. Benny the Jet Hartsock.
Listen to a couple of old extinct dinosaurs. Chop it up. Fullback and a yackle. 2 positions that don't really exist in our wonderful game anymore. Also, you subscribe to the new Snaps YouTube channel, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. Listen to me and Aaron Murray help support the cause. Chop up college football every day. And final plug, Whiskey and Wine this Saturday for the LSU baseball game, 2 p.m. We're going to be in there smoking, drinking, getting crazy. Inviting you to come out there with us. Jake, my ESPN Plus has not been working for reading articles. What is this? There seems to be a piece that has been written on quarterbacks. Where does Jaden Daniels fall in the mix here?
We got to get your ESPN Plus account.
I can't even. I pay for it and it doesn't work. And I know I need to just get in touch with customer service because I've heard they can fix it, but it's very annoying.
Ooh, see, there's a lot of great information out there that I use on the daily on ESPN Plus.
No,
Not
it's
just
great.
The streaming part of it, but the articles as well.
They hide all their best stuff behind it, which you should. I mean, obviously, you want people to pay you for your work, right? But like Bill Connolly's always behind it.
Yeah.
Bill Barnwell's always behind it. They're awesome.
Yeah, this article comes from Jordan Reed, and this is the 2024 NFL Draft quarterback class, top passers to know, the biggest questions and all of that. And so it has kind of tiers to it, and it's top names to know. It's the who's who. It's Caleb Williams. It's Drake May. Quinn Ewers being in this list, a little surprising, but NFL, as far as his arm strength, all of that, someone's going to fall in love with him. They're going to can he be the next Jay Cutler? Okay, so that doesn't surprise me that much. Michael Penix Jr. is there. J.J. McCarthy is up there. Bo Nix is up there. But then the second category, best of the rest, that's where you'll find Jaden Daniels. And this is in alphabetical order, so it's not like a ranking system. But in this category, Brennan Armstrong from NC State, Carson Beck from Georgia. You've got Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma, Sam Hartman at Notre Dame, K.J. Jefferson at Arkansas, Devin Leary at Kentucky, Riley Leonard at Duke, Joe Milton from Tennessee. You got Michael Pratt from Tulane.
Whoa.
You've got Spencer Rattler from South Carolina. You got Cam Rising from Utah, Will Rogers from Mississippi State. But you also see Jaden Daniels from LSU.
Yeah. Grayson McCall, anywhere on that list?
Yeah, Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina's on that list.
Hell yeah. Wait, so this is not a Jaden Daniels point, so I apologize for steering the conversation away. J.J. McCarthy's got a lot to live up to.
Well,
this year,
that's kind of why I put it in here, because there's some quarterbacks that are in that top tier list that I don't think should be above Jaden Daniels. Remember, Jaden Daniels last year, before the NFL draft, before he decided if he was going to go to the draft or come back to LSU, he was ranked 7th on Mel Kiper's big board as far as quarterback prospects. So he was pretty high a year ago. Like when I see names, transitioning to the next level, J.J. McCarthy, Quinn Ewers, I've got question marks. Bo Nix. Can Bo Nix' game travel to the next level?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. So when you look at Jaden Daniels, when you look at what he did a year ago, I'll be honest with you, I thought he would have a little bit more appreciation coming into this offseason. And there's some there, but it's like people are still not yet fully ready to just, okay, he's a guy. he deserves to be in this conversation. Like, he's like on that edge. But I thought after what he did last year, and I know it wasn't for every single game. I know there was ebbs and flows. But when you look at that 3-week stretch of Ole Miss, Florida, and Alabama, he was playing as well as any quarterback out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like, okay, if you're not a Jaden Daniels believer, I get why. Like, I understand all the reasons. That's fine. But I'm with you. I can't square the circle of how do you not believe in Daniels, but you do believe in Quinn Ewers? Or how do you not believe in Daniels, but you do believe in J.J. McCarthy? Like,
it's because, man, you know how it is, T. Someone's going to fall in love with the arm strength, and he can make all the throws.
Yeah,
he can have different
arm
angles and all. But that's great. Are you a good quarterback or not? Because people like to say, well, he's got this guy in him. He's got that guy in him. It's like, no, that guy won at a high level in college. That guy threw for 3,800 yards in college, right? You can have all those tools. But also, like, if you continue to go down Quinn Ewers' body to his legs, it's terrible. His footwork's awful.
Yeah,
like,
and
he's got a lot still. He's got left to do to be able to even think about being a pro.
And he's on as everything with Texas. Go back to blue chip ratio. Remember, they've been Oklahoma, the only team, like, they are markedly more talented than every other team in the Big 12. Like, he should be uber successful because he's on an uneven playing field, a literal uneven playing field. He can't make it happen. Then what? You think he's going to magically make it happen on Sundays? Like, that seems crazy to me. He was good for a half against Alabama. I guess look, he was probably, Oklahoma just, they absolutely steamrolled him. But I can't get the Quinn Ewers TCU game out of my mind. And maybe it's unfair to just use like the worst game as the example, but he just looked so hapless in that game. And Texas defense was whooping TCU's ass. Like, Texas absolutely, like, if Quinn Ewers was all that, they should have won that game, and yet they so I don't know. I'm not really a Quinn Ewers believer until I see it. He was awesome for that half against Alabama before he got hurt. And if that's who he can be year-round, then yes, all this is true, but I'm going to wait till he proves it, till I give him that benefit of the doubt.
J.J. McCarthy, you mentioned him as well. He's kind of in that list. He, from what he was the year before to what he is now, a completely different quarterback, but there's still a lot of growth. I mean, remember, he had big moments in that TCU game, but he also threw it to TCU a lot.
Yeah.
And that was the difference in that game, them getting the pick six, and really changed because it felt like Michigan had this wave of a comeback, and then he'd throw another one. And that was really the difference in that game. And so there's still a lot that you want to see from a J.J. McCarthy as well.
And it's like, I liked his play against Ohio State, but it wasn't the toughest. Right? It was more like, oh, your receiver's open by 20 yards. Just, like, hit him. Like, put it in the area, and he's going to score a touchdown. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Football season, baby. Less than 100 days away, and less than 4 minutes away is the end of the show. Keep it locked, OTB.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
We're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified, and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
Menu second to none. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We'll hear from Jay Johnson as the Tigers continue to get ready for the Baton Rouge Super Regional against Kentucky. And it's a Whiskey Wednesday. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Headline from SB Nation. Is Baby Gronk the new drip king, or is he just getting rizzed up by Livy? So Jeff Tweedy says, of course that's your contention. You just saw that Baby Gronk went to LSU and rizzed up Livy, so naturally you think he's the new drip king, and you'll believe that until next month when you see that Livy hugged Baby Gronk and got convinced that he is the new riz king. I don't know what the hell. Or these words that I'm raising? I keep coming across the word riz. What does it mean?
I don't know, but what I'm assuming from TikTok, it's
okay,
like
from the context,
kind of like flirting type of thing,
It's like game.
Yeah, like
it's like game. Thank you, Casey. As our resident youth reporter
like
on the
that.
show, Casey Gaines. What is it? So it's like game.
Yeah.
Game. Yeah. I'm going to be the old man here on Google. Someone's ability to flirt and be charming.
Yeah, there you go. Flirting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go, Casey. Casey was all over it.
Man, my riz is pretty weak nowadays. I guess it was never that strong, to be honest.
I didn't even know.
I would have never been described as a riz king. I think you probably had some Riz King moments in your high school, Jake, up there at Evangel.
Not really. I was just good at football.
Which, goes a long way if you're trying to be a Riz King, right? Having a good foundation on which to pull.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Taylor? Have your friends ever called you the Riz King before?
Well, no, because like back when we were in school, Riz wasn't a thing. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Riz came around 6 months ago?
I have no idea.
If that.
I would say probably 6 months because I just started hearing about it last 2 weeks.
I started hearing about it like maybe a couple months ago. So, yeah, about 6 months ago.
No, I mean, look, nobody ever called me the Riz King. Now, the Jizz King, I think, is a title that I've carried for, I don't know, a few years. Maybe.
I've never carried either one, but no, Riz King wasn't a thing when I was in school. So.
That's what they're declaring in Sweden, right?
What is wrong with you?
That's what they should call it.
If you win the title.
That's what they should call it if you win the title.
Yeah, is that what you get? There's worse names.
The JK. Let's go, dude. Make the crown today. Oh, man. We have weird time on this show sometimes. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. God, oh, Riz is short for charisma. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Ask the Bench, favorite team in NCAA college football to play with? I guess I always played with LSU like a loser back in the day. And then in college, we didn't really play it. We played Madden.
I started out at one of the service academies as like an offensive coordinator and then take over the head coach. And then I become the OC like at LSU and then take over as head coach.
Yeah, my little brother loves to do the small school thing as well. Oh, I mean, you already know who I'm playing with in next year's boys. Oh, we didn't get to the boycotts. We'll have to get those tomorrow. But you already know who I'm playing with next year. Who do you think I'm playing with?
Nebraska.
Ooh, you freaking better believe it, dude. Let's go. I'm going to get to live out on my Corn Hub dreams. The Corn King. Ask the Bench. Who would do better in Sweden, Hanny or Musa? Actually, no, I have an answer here. It's Moose. I have seen video. I have little birdies that feed me information. I've seen video of Moose out in the wild doing the gritty and making out on the dance floor. And it was all very well done and confident. It was really good.
I didn't see the video, but I've heard about the video.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Moose here. I'm going to go Moose to Sweden. Why don't we send a representative over? Huh? Y'all have a great day.
Hot father.
We'll see you tomorrow. Now, he would actually, yes.
OTB, OT.
He would actually be very good, I feel. Go to Patient Plus, Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com, where you will see the difference, okay? And you will I mean that actually, literally you'll see the difference. Because, Jake, what blew me away the first time I went to Patient Plus was about 5 or 6 years ago. Now, maybe even longer. I was like, oh my God, this is the nicest urgent care I've ever been in. The technology's, the latest in line. The rooms are massive. They're very private. They got all the equipment you need to test everything. Like it legitimately blew me away. And they take that philosophy, that investment to every single location, so you reap the top of the line benefits. Go to Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com.
Yeah, once you go to the website, you're going to see there's a location near you in the Baton Rouge area. They're all about convenience. So no matter where you're at in the capital city, they have got a location that's going to be convenient for you. patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter?